Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music.
Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. And today I'll be using my Kiwi accent instead of my Lower East Side accent. If you haven't guessed, this is not Toby Morse. I'm Dan Smith, and I have kind of hijacked the airwaves over here in his kitchen for a very special announcement. I've been friends with Toby for 25 years or so, and he's always shown me love and support with everything I've done, from my music, from taking bands on tour, having me create artwork for H2O, and countless other things over the years. I've filled in for them a couple times on bass and guitar and made memories I could never forget. In exchange, I've tattooed him a million times and might have seen more of his body than Moon has at this point. And today he surprised me and asked me to do my very own read and announce something that I've been working on that will now be a new sponsor of this very podcast. I grew up playing and loving soccer or football, and if music and tattoos didn't get in the way, I'm literally positive I would have been a pro. A couple years ago, me and my friend Kevin decided to start Field Soccer Supply. Field is a soccer-based clothing brand, but mostly Field's an idea that was created from me being involved in bands and tattooing, etc. for over 25 years and experiencing the crucial, amazing, connecting element of what makes the world go around: community. We kind of exist to elevate the passion for the beautiful game and just connect music, culture, historic moments along the way. So if you've got kids in soccer or you play in an adult league with your mates, you know how it goes. Every season, new uniforms, new fees, new hassles, new everything. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world, but is literally the #1 sport in America that kids actually stop playing. And the main reason is simply just the cost of everything. All those old polyester jerseys end up in a landfill something too, and the love of the game kind of follows soon after. We're going to do something different. We take old uniforms headed for the dump and recycle them. We then use the recycled polyester to create uniforms that any team can love. They're fully customizable, team kits, fan wear, and also there's a lifestyle and essentials side to it that celebrate amazing moments in soccer and music history combined. You know, playing is the most important thing. We host monthly play-for-free pickup games here in Southern California, and we're just getting started. The goal is to eventually do this everywhere and help make playing doable for anyone. Check out The Field Dream on socials and thefielddream.com for more info and join our team. Okay, I'm going to hand you back to the real host of the pod and get back to the regular programming. Thanks for listening.
I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. They have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. All right, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Backed by popular demand, the number one man in the fucking land, Mr. Derek Green. Thank you for being here.
What's up?
The co-host with the most, with the voice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything after that. It is a nice rainy Saturday here in Los Angeles.
It's a lovely day, quite lovely.
I'm really loving the rain.
Yeah, I am too.
And across from me, welcome to the podcast, Colin Brittain. Thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you for having me.
For the listeners, we met a couple months ago when I was asked to be in a Papa Roach song, and I showed up to this man's house, into his studio, and sang a song with you in your garage. And your studio was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, little Studio City oasis.
Yeah, and then we had met, I guess, a while ago with Stick to Your Guns. We were talking about Off the Pod, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
When I sang it, I forgot
10 years ago.
Damn. What record was that? You remember what it was? I know I sang it. It was a song called RMA.
It was
Revolutionary Mental Attitude.
I remember it so well.
It's such a big record too. Oh my God, we're so in trouble right
record.
now.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was called.
Are we gonna look it up?
Yeah, can somebody look it up?
That should be my job.
Oh,
that should,
was it
We can
Disobedient?
Yes, we can edit it too. That's a big record too. Yeah,
Disobedient, right?
And what were you doing on that record?
Well, I was working for John Feldman, who's a
Shout out
friend
to
of yours.
Feldy, bro.
Feldman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was like my first gig after my band quit, or after I quit my band, rather. And I moved to Los Angeles to work with him. And so that was one of the records we were working on. We were like kind of stacking up records at the time. John's a workaholic for sure, in the best way.
You're moving from Nashville?
Yeah, I was moving from Tennessee, and then I came out here. My band we were signed to an indie deal, and we were touring a lot, and I just came out here kind of to start working. I actually started working with this guy, Nick Long. I don't know if you know Nick Long.
I know the name, maybe, yeah.
And he's a big songwriter right now. But he was also signed to my record label. And when we were out here shooting a music video, we were like, my A&R was like, hey, I know you write and produce a lot. I want you to connect with one of our new signings. Because he's, looking for some new collaborators or whatever. Yeah. And so we had coffee and then just became quick friends. And literally like a week later, I got back to Tennessee and I flew back to LA and wound up spending like 2.5 weeks out here. And just in a house in Los Feliz working with Nick on his project. It was called Dark Waves.
Oh, yeah, I know.
We wrote a bunch of songs and introduced me to a bunch of friends. Tommy English is one of those people, great producer. And I was kind of, through that time, I was like telling him, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of just like running around the world in a van, So doing that for a while now. And I really love this production. And I love LA. LA was such a different vibe than the East Coast, for me.
Yeah.
And we had made our album in New York. I hadn't really spent any time in LA other than just to like play a show here and there, or like, shoot a music video. For whatever reason, our music videos were always shot out here. So
yeah, I've
been out here a few times and had some friends here. And I just love the vibe, palm trees, the surfing, the sunshine, the inspiration. There's so many talented people.
Can't beat it.
you know, like the food, Mexican food, whatever. Like there was
Yeah.
all kinds of things to love about it, and I just so different. And I was like, this is where I want to be. So I quit my band and moved out. And I guess part of that story is that Nick was friends with John Feldman.
Okay.
And John happened to be looking for a new engineer, producer, underling kind of person. And so like I got back to Tennessee. And 2 days later, Nick had sent my demo or sent my work over to John, and John called me on my phone. And I was just like, he's like, can you come out tomorrow?
Damn.
Literally.
Nice.
So
That sounds like your style.
yeah,
Yeah.
I jumped on a plane and came out. And the first record we worked on was 5 Seconds of Summer.
Damn.
So it was, you know, and the rest is kind of history. So anyway, I moved out a month later, and that's when I met you.
You only been out that long when it
I think maybe I'd been out for a couple of months, but by that point, I can't remember the timeline exactly. It was a whirlwind. We jumped in and, you know, doing 5 Seconds of Summer. We were doing One OK Rock, who I've produced, this Japanese band that I wound up producing a ton for. And we did Stick to Your Guns. We did this girl, Ida Maria from Norway. We had done a bunch of different writing sessions too.
Mhm.
You know, he does a lot of that. So yeah, man, it was a
I
lot.
had a bunch of your stuff written down. Like you worked on a lot of different records, man.
Yeah, that was all probably like later, you know.
Yeah.
But that first, I think I was only there for John's for probably 6 or 7 months. And in that time, you know, it was just so many. I can't even remember all the stuff we were working on.
He's a machine too. He stays working all the time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He did
was
so many
heavy.
great records too, man.
It was heavy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He
And-
taught me a lot about songwriting and you know, just it was just like a jumping. It was like a boot camp in a way.
Yeah.
You know, which I've heard a lot of people say, which was good for me though, because like I think that was what you kind of figure out if you really want to do this or not. And
For sure.
you know, and it's like turns out I was pretty good at it, or at least I was like willing to put in the hours.
Were you the main songwriter in your band too?
Yeah, I mean, we all wrote together a lot. I would say I had a lot of creative passion and certainly execution, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was some of like growing up in Nashville, obviously, right? Well, you moved to Florida too, Pensacola.
Well, so
right?
actually, I was born in Pensacola.
Okay.
And then
Right.
military town right on the coast, Gulf
Mhm.
Coast. And then my parents, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee,
Gotcha.
which is where I really grew up. And a lot of people think I'm from Nashville. Knoxville's not too far away. But,
No.
but yeah, like Knoxville is just sort of like Nashville adjacent a little bit. So we got
Sure.
a lot of spillover. It's a lot more Americana music, folk music. It's got its own identity. But yeah, I grew up in there, which is if for people who don't know, is like right in the kind of the cradle of the Smoky Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains. So there's a lot of that sort of like Appalachian, like the Avett Brothers, a lot of bluegrass music, you know, things like the Lumineers. The Lumineers aren't from there, but like
Yeah.
the Lumineers, like that sound sort of is indicative of the area that I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously a little bit of country music here and there. And so we were kind of like the spillover from Nashville.
How old were you when you moved there from Florida? How old?
Probably 5 or 6.
Oh, okay, super
Yeah.
young. Yeah.
So I you know, I grew up there.
And what made you move there? Your family? What did you guys move there for?
Well, I think it was my dad. My dad's a physician, or
Okay.
he was, and yeah, I think he just got an opportunity over there, and it was we were from the deep South. My dad's side of the family is from, you know, South Mississippi, Florida, like area, and so I think my mom was sort of like, we got to get out of this pocket, you know. So she
wasn't from there.
She's not from there, no. So
Where's
so-
she from?
My mom's kind of from a lot of places. She was like a military brat.
Oh, okay.
But she grew up in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
and then, you know, I think like later on they moved and they kind of just bounced around.
Right.
So
She wasn't down the South.
I think she finished high school in Florida. I think that's where
Yeah.
that's where my grandpa ended up eventually. So like that's so she was familiar with that area, of course, but yeah, I think that the opportunity for my dad was just better.
Yeah. You have
similar.
siblings too?
I do. Yeah, I've got 4 siblings. I have
Wow.
3. Yeah, two biological brothers, younger, and
Okay.
then 2 stepsisters who are younger. And my parents divorced when I was like 9. So, you know, I pretty much grew up with my stepsisters essentially. It's like kind of like Brady Bunch situation, you know, a little bit. That's what my dad always jokes about.
And were they playing like different types of music in the house growing up? Like your exposure to music, what was that like at an early age for you?
My dad is such a musical person.
Okay.
Actually, my whole dad's side of the family. You my uncle was heavy into music. My other uncle was into he's a great vocalist. He was touring with like Stephen Curtis Chapman, some of those like Christian artists. And my dad put himself through medical school playing like drums and in country bands and all growing up, he obviously like back in the 60s or 70s or whatever, like the whole thing is like music isn't a real job, right? Like so my grandfather I think was like, no, you're my oldest son to my dad. You're my oldest son, so you're gonna represent this family. You're gonna go to school, you're gonna get a real job. Yeah. And my dad was such a creative and passionate about music, but I think okay, dad says I gotta go, and I think he's like wouldn't regret that at all. It turns out to be a really talented doctor, actually, eye surgeon, and
that's awesome.
And so he helped a lot of people. I saw that with my own eyes. Helped a lot of people see again. He was really talented at it, but I think he always really wanted to be in music, and so he was playing he had bands, and he would. I'd watch him when I was younger. He'd go play, I'd be like 12 years old and my mom would take me out to see him like
That's cool.
That's little
awesome.
Like clubs and stuff like that, playing, Mustang Sally and
that's amazing.
Jim Blossom's covers and stuff like that.
Blossoms. Nice.
And,
What was the first instrument you picked up to try to play? Was it drums first? Or?
I played violin when I was,
that's awesome.
when I was like 3 or 4, which is like the hardest instrument. And I think
that's gnarly.
I really just didn't like that. I didn't like the discipline. Also, like the violin teacher, I think was that Japanese style. There's like particularly in the 90s, there was this like Japanese teaching style of violin that was, I can't remember what it's called, but it's very structured. And, for a 4-year-old it's just like, I can't imagine. So I didn't love that. So, but my dad had drums in the house. He always had mandolins. He always had guitars laying around. And so they bought me a drum set when I was like, probably 6. And it was a little kid's drum set.
Yeah.
And I kind of fucked around with it, and it was like, I don't know. And then my dad set up his drum kit eventually, like a year later, probably like kind of in our music room, like next to it. And then I remember one day I just like went over and like figured out how to roll the seat down. And once I could figure out I could play and reach the pedals on his kit, that's when it clicked. That's when I was like got the
playing the big boy drums, your dad's drums.
Yeah, I got I figured out how to, and I had that drum kit. He just gave that to me, and I wound up having that drum kit until I probably got pieces of it somewhere in storage somewhere, but I had that pretty much until I was 17 or something.
It's awesome.
So
you started beating away in the drums. That was it. Like just started.
That's what just connected for me. Yeah. And it was that passion. You feel like I love this so much, and I could feel music through it and then express it in a way. And there wasn't like a barrier. You know? So that's what I think a lot of people like. They feel the music, especially when you're a kid. They feel the music, but then like the instrument becomes like, oh, let's go take lessons, and then that's a barrier because. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like, because this is how I have to play it. I have to learn these scales and stuff. And it's like, you really don't want to do that. You really just want to play. So somebody asked me the other day, they were like, what was the first song you ever learned on guitar? And I said, I think it was something I just wrote myself.
That's awesome.
It was like one string. So like, you can play open strings on a guitar. And I think I just like hit a D string and a G string, and I found the right scale. And it was like just moving my finger up and down the frets with a drone note. And that was like the first thing I ever learned, was like something that I just created because
cool.
I didn't never take lessons that way. I learned theory and all the like, scales and all the things that
was
you
that
need.
separate from school where you learned that?
Yeah. So like that became like later,
okay,
like as a mechanism of just, I played in bands and stuff. And so, I have a guitar player show me this Metallica riff or whatever. And you learn like little bits and stuff and learn chords, but actually how to put it together in a sense of like a musical sense was something I learned later. One nice thing about growing up in East Tennessee is there's in Nashville and that whole scene, there's so many like top level musicians just around.
Yeah. Sure.
And if you kind of know those people and you get to meet those people, all of a sudden you're like, there's this guy, Andy Wood. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Probably one of the greatest technical guitar players on earth. Like all the guitar shredder heads know who he is. And
is he in a band or no?
Yeah, so like he played with Rascal Flatts
forever.
He had his own band, and he's played around and session guy, and he's now become kind of like a YouTube guitar guru.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I mean, this guy is unbelievable. Like, but I grew up like, as a teenager, I knew him.
That's cool.
And so you're around these things a
Right.
lot, and you're just like, holy shit, that guy can play. And show me a few things, and just being around them and playing in cover bands with them. Hey, I got a gig, my drummer canceled. Can you just show up and vibe out? And you're 18 and you show up at this place called the Tin Roof or somewhere, like, in college kids drinking, and you just get up there and play like Merle Haggard riffs and stuff and songs that I don't even know, and then you're just like, don't worry about it, dude, it's a shuffle beat, or like if I'm playing guitar or bass or something, it's like, okay, it's a 1-4-5 and it's transition and it's an A, and you just kind of just suck in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then
figure it out. Yeah.
That's important. Yeah.
It's like not that serious.
Yeah.
Right.
So from that moment, playing drums and finding music, was that your main focus, like through school and everything too? Is that all you thought about, you wanted to do, or?
I was like always trying to find something else.
Yeah. Like a plan B or something?
Yeah. I mean, you're just like, well, I like sports. So I'm like, okay, like I'm going to join the football team. And then you just get your ass handed to you. I'm like, I'm 14 or whatever and playing with these huge cornbread East Tennessee, like big boys, who are like, can like really play and been playing their whole life, and you get your head knocked off, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's probably not for me. Okay. So like, what's the next thing?
Were your parents religious?
No, they're not actually. I think my dad was sort of like, you grow up in East Tennessee. There's sort of like people go to church.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
My dad would like, go to church sort of as like, well, this is what we do sometimes. But no, there was no like dogmatic approach to our life necessarily.
I think I've been pronouncing like, you said Appalachia?
Yeah.
And I think I've been pronouncing it wrong.
No. That's probably how it's supposed to be pronounced. Appalachia.
Yeah. I just never
You're
know.
good with words too, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm always confused with that though. Like I heard so many people pronounce in different ways, so I was just curious.
I think that if you say Appalachia, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll have to fact check that.
Did you grow up in Brazil? Is that where you grew up?
No,
Where'd
I
you
grew
grow
up in Cleveland,
Clevo,
Ohio.
man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you speak Portuguese?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy. So how long did you spend in Brazil?
About 20 years.
Okay.
Off and on, yeah.
Yeah, we just got back from Brazil, and I was just
I
like,
saw that. And, you hit me up, and I was like, oh, man, I wish I was there. There were so many people I know
at the show
that love Linkin Park, and so they were just like freaking out about the show. And
it was
it's
so
be
great.
The best show.
Yeah, Adam was there for some of it.
Are you out there?
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Was that your first time in Brazil?
No, we went last year about the same time. We
Right.
did 2 shows, and then this time we did a whole South American tour.
Yeah.
And but we did 3 shows in Brazil, and it's just like
It's
the
incredible
greatest.
there, man.
You can tell.
It's
Tell
crazy.
me, like, what's
difference?
the best show in South America for you? I mean, I'm sure it's...
Doesn't have to be in Brazil.
You know what? Actually,
just tell the truth. I just want to match it up with other people that have gone to South America, and they always say that this place has the most energy level and people singing the most. But I'm curious to hear it from you.
I feel like, you know what? I gotta say, I was expecting Brazil, and that's a 9.5 out of 10, like almost there.
Yeah.
I was shocked at Chile,
Bro.
the Chilean
Off
Santiago,
the chain, bro.
and Buenos Aires too. But Chile was like, I'll never forget that. There were like flares up in the nosebleeds.
Bro, we've had I was going to give you knuckles. Yeah, go.
No, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
And actually, did you tell me? I think you
Yeah,
may have said something.
We had like gas, police came in with spraying gas at us and stuff. The whole place got into a riot. It was on the news at our show in, what did you say, Chile?
Santiago.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
off
man.
the chain. Kids are riding outside, breaking the windows on the news.
It was
tear gas. We got tear gas on our face during the stage.
That is.
That wasn't like that for you guys, but.
No, but I mean, like that also fits your brand. I feel like.
Tear gas.
Toby just got tear gas.
All my friends
at his own show.
All my friends get tear gas tattoos from that tour.
Oh my!
But the show continued. We came out, washed our eyes out. We played the show. I could barely see.
That's sick, man.
But the passion there in Chile is South America is off the chain, but Chile is something different, man.
I don't know what it is about
They're
it.
so passionate, man. They're so appreciative of the music, dude.
It was, and by the way, like it's everywhere. Like
Of course.
it's so music is great everywhere. The South American, I mean, it's a big area of the world, so I know there's more specifics than that.
We're not dissing anywhere else, but there's something magical about South America in general with the appreciation for music and the love
absolutely.
of it. You know what I mean?
Very passionate.
I'm not saying America's jaded and they get shows every fucking night a week.
There's definitely reason behind that.
Tell us, because you freaking live there.
Well, I mean, I just know that in a lot of the places there was a lot of political unrest, and so there weren't as many concerts or shows that were happening in the U.S., especially in the 80s. In Brazil, it was definitely like a dictatorship going on, so a lot of things were illegal and just not happening. But when like a massive festival like Rock in Rio happened, that was like the opening, the doors where a lot of the 80s stuff has already been going on, and they've been, grabbing that, but they've never been able to see it live.
Right.
And so once that opened up, it opened up a huge market for South America. It's very difficult to go there and just play one show in one place. Like once those other places start opening up, and also people were able to see that, a lot of the 80s already passed. Like a lot of those bands already come and gone, and they weren't able to see that. But when bands started coming back again, and, like old school bands and just coming through there, it's just the passion of not being able to see it all the time. It just builds up, and as a fan of music, which we all are, it's like, I got to see this. I got to see it. And it's, it's a monumental moment for them. It's like not cheap to go to shows.
Not cheap.
So it's like you're really,
invested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anticipating the show, looking forward to it. It doesn't happen every day. It becomes like an event with your friends talking about it. Like, we're going to go to the show months. Like, we're going to go to the show. We're going to do this, like planning it out and everything. What I'm going to wear, like listening to the songs building up into them. Even, going to see cover bands that have, doing those songs. And I was like, my God, people are really invested in going to shows, and it's something really magical for them. And so you see that appreciation when you do live shows there, which is phenomenal. As an artist, you're just like, I need to be here more. And the more you go to South America, the more appreciation comes up,
Yeah, we had, and also like the fans, I mean, you just talk about like how much they are invested in not just the music, but also in the culture, each other.
Right. That scene becomes
then like you as like almost, you almost become an enigma of yourself or something, like when you know what I mean? Like when somebody sees you in public, it's this outflow of emotion,
right.
And you're just like, well, I'm just drinking my coffee, like whatever,
Oh yeah,
and it's a lot. It's a lot for them, but it's also like it makes me. This is me personally talking,
right.
But I think that you as a performer and as a creative, like that's what you really want, is for your ideas to connect with somebody on that kind of emotional level,
right?
And so I personally feel like it's kind of my job to like be as open to that as I can, and try to meet people and try to, I know not everybody is like that,
right,
because you got to protect yourself
and do it safely,
for sure. Of course, yeah. But I try every chance I get. I really try to like meet fans and like say hello, no matter where we are, but especially in places like that, and just to like because I feel like I owe those people a lot.
For sure. I mean, we're all fans of music, and I just put myself back to being 18 or 14, 15, going to shows and seeing people that I admire that had a big influence on me. It meant a lot.
Yeah.
You're reading into the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
You're adapting it to something. You're relating to it in something that's very personal to you at times. And I just try to remember that, because it was difficult to live there the first few years, where I wasn't used to, people like knowing, like you're saying, coming up to you and just like
and
freaking out.
For like Brazil, like I would say, you're a tall guy, like you probably stick out. Like people are just like, that's Derek.
They're like royalty there, and so it's crazy. Yeah.
And so it's like definitely really, like it's every day there. So it was something I definitely had.
You can't hide Derek out there.
No, and it kind of bummed me out.
Yeah,
because I'm not coming from that world of like, I didn't get into music to be recognized like that on a level like, oh, we got to do an autograph. And then I never thought about that aspect of once I started to love music, it was like, I like playing music.
Right.
You know, it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I like being with my friends on stage and connecting with people in that way. But I never thought of that aspect of being recognized and,
right.
you know.
It is a different level. You just said, like the autograph thing, like those I get the meet and greets when you're in a massive band.
Right.
But coming from the world we come from, our meet and greets are we play the show.
Yeah,
we walk off stage, wipe our sweat up, and we sell the merchandise to the kids that just saw us play, and we're shaking their hands. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level.
Oh, yeah.
But then you came from hardcore. Then you go from hardcore and you join Sepultura. It's just a different level.
It's a different level, especially because you have like, I mean, it's a lot of people just like, sometimes you have people like shaking and like crying, you know, and it's, and I thought I could be like, you know what, I'm going to go out and just like, hang out.
Walk
it's just
out
like
there.
It becomes super overwhelming.
Yeah, you can't just go and sell stuff if you're in Sepultura to the kids at the merch table.
Yeah, even though you want to because you're still that person.
Exactly.
It's like you want the kids to know, hey, I would be out there, but you're gonna freaking attack me. You know, whatever it's gonna be.
It's a weird like anxiety that I never realized that I had that can come about from that. You know, you have a lot of people all at once, everything happy. Like, okay, hold on, you know, and. You know, nowadays, you know, you have people filming stuff and everything. Oh, yeah. That adds a whole nother dynamic to it because going down there in like late 90s or whatever, it's like people didn't have cell phones like that. You know, it's just like autograph and that's it. And they're out. And it was like, wow, as technology changed, it becomes something totally different. I think I also was like, okay, I'm going to pull back a little bit because it's a lot having, you know, cameras in your face, you know, like filming, like, you know, it's just kind of have to find a balance, you know.
You know, I just try to look at it as it's like it's a net positive, you know. People care. And I mean,
totally.
And again, like I said, it's different for everybody and it's an individual thing. It's not like, I think for like Linkin Park, for example, you know, those guys have been doing this for such a long time and also have been at a high level for a long time. Crazy and level. You know, it like you said, it can be exhausting, I think, and so it just depends on the energy level of the person or like you know what they're doing. So I don't think it's like, you know, some people are like, why doesn't everybody go, you know, why does Linkin Park not do meet and greets? I'm like, well, I'll tell you, because that's a lot of energy.
It's chaos,
you know. And we have a long show,
you
know. We have a long show and.
Tired,
you know, the vocalist especially Emily has to be
has to watch her voice
after 100%.
So it just depends.
I think a lot of fans don't understand that aspect.
Yeah, I don't want to say it now, go on record, because I am 55 years old now. I don't do that no more because I realize going out and talking to kids after you play, that's when you lose your voice after you play the show because you're not warming down. You're talking all night to these kids, and then by the time you go to bed, you're like, and that's where you really lose your voice. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So now it's just like, I'm not being a jerk, but I need to get rest. I need to like stop talking after I play. For the listeners, we know we're not trying to diss the fans,
that's
but
very true.
If you lose your voice in the next show,
and talking is the ultimate killing your voice, especially in a loud place. You even talking louder, you're like using more.
It's worse than performing. After you're done,
it's like really, really a no-no.
So for the listeners, it's really key to get sleep and rest for your voice and stop talking after you play 100%.
Oh yeah.
It's also an interesting thing, which is, you know, because before this, I didn't tour. Like I haven't been touring since, you know, for 9 years or something.
Damn. Wow.
Or whatever it was, 8 years, and so. And then of course, like when I was touring, it was a totally different experience.
Right.
I was going to say, were you only in a van when you were in that band?
Yeah, I mean, we were like doing the bandwagon things, you know, at some point, but like basically,
it wasn't a bus or flying or none of that.
Well, however you're traveling isn't the important part. It's more like how many people are you playing to every night, and then like, are you playing? Are you flying a lot? Are you?
Yeah.
You know, how long is your show? I mean, because our shows would be maximum an hour, maximum.
And now they're
2:15.
Yeah.
You know? And so like that extra, like I tell people, it's like you really earn your money on the last 30 minutes because that's, you know, it's like a marathon kind of like.
Absolutely.
You know, anybody can run like, maybe not anybody, but you know, you could run 12 miles is different than 20 something miles, right?
Absolutely.
So like the last 10 miles is like, that's the hard part. So
Definitely.
You know, so and then, you know, also like we were talking about energy for people, because that's what all this is like energy and reception, being open to receiving energy. And when you have that many people. I mean, Adam, how many people were at that Sao Paulo show? 68,000, something like that. Like, so you imagine for me coming off of being in the studio every day, and then I'm a little more used to it now, but
Right.
like playing for that kind of people, and then all of a sudden it's like, cool, you're in a different time zone, so your body's not totally adapt to that yet.
100%.
You're up late, so you
Yeah.
start the show at 9
Yeah.
p.m. and then you end at 11:20 or something, and then it's like, okay, cool, like everybody run straight from the stage, jump in a van, out, and then you're back in your hotel room and it's perfectly quiet, and you've just been assaulted by 68,000 people for 2 hours, loud music,
It's hard to come down from
physical. Yeah, and then that adrenaline rush, and
Totally.
then, and it's just like, oh man, like, whoa, how do I go to sleep?
that. Yes.
You know, it's like take some melatonin.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't do like sleeping pills or any of that stuff. Like, I'm pretty,
Right.
you know, try to be as clean about that as possible.
Sure.
So yeah, so like learning how to, you know,
Yeah.
be in a quiet space after, like, it's like maximum stimulation, and then
Absolutely.
and then
Right.
isolated hotel room, and it kind of fucks with your
For sure.
mental a
can,
little bit.
100%.
I'm better about it now because
Yeah.
we've been doing it for a long time, so I'm used to it now. But that was like a shock
Yeah.
that
Sure.
that
All
nobody really talked about beforehand. You know,
Nobody
you-
ever talked
just
about
trying
that
to
really
sleep
to
and like
me.
wind
Yeah.
down too in your room.
I think you have to develop like positive things that make you feel comfortable. Like you said, over time, you develop things that help you get through that weird transition. But yeah, it's definitely difficult. I had to learn that. I'm still learning a lot of how to deal with that. But it's interesting that you mentioned that, because it's something that I don't think a lot of people know about, or it can hard to relate to, because it's crazy energy that they're also, you know, when you're playing that many people, it's just like you're giving so much energy, but they're also taking a lot of your energy.
Sure.
So
yeah, of course, and that's part of it. But then,
Yeah.
you know, my mom would be like, "Well, like, oh, you must be so tired," and I'm like, "Bro, like, you don't even
Be-
like." I mean, yeah, I guess I'm tired, but
Running
I
on
guess,
fumes.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but your brain is like, I mean, everybody probably can relate to this.
For
Like,
sure.
when you're excited about something and then you have to go to sleep. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a big day in the
Right.
morning, you know,
Totally.
big
and
work
sleep,
thing.
and sleep is just so important when you're on tour. It's like the most important thing, to have a good sleep.
And it's
you
almost
know?
impossible to get on tour, especially in a different country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, so like, you know, it's you go back and you just like, how do I calm myself down? How do I, you know, take a bath, take a shower, whatever? Like, how do you?
So what do you do now? What is like your regimen kind of?
You know, it kind of depends, but I think really it's just that meditating before the show a little bit, and afterwards, and like working on your breathing.
Yes.
That
Breath
helps
work,
a lot.
yeah.
A little bit of melatonin works too.
Mhm.
And I think getting used to it. Like,
yeah.
So like, this is not the last time I'm going to do this. This is not. When I first started, it was like, this is the craziest night I've ever had, over and over again. You know, I've never experienced anything like this. And then now it's a little bit like less. It's a little bit less of an adrenaline ride the whole show.
Mhm.
So it's more like your first 5 songs, you're pumped
For
up.
sure.
And then as the show goes on, you kind of settle into it a little bit more, and it's
Yeah.
not a new thing anymore.
Right.
So I think that's probably the thing that's helped the most.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people, do they ever ask you, like, do you ever get tired of playing this song?
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's
And what do you tell them?
I just don't. I love music in general. So
Right.
like,
because I mean, for me, I think it's just different every time.
yeah,
You know, it's never the same time, the same people in front of you when you're playing certain
Totally.
song. You know, everything is different, I think.
I mean, how many years you playing with them now?
well, I guess like officially,
Oh, officially today, your album came out 1 year ago today.
yeah,
1 year ago today,
Oh,
November
wow.
15th, their album came out.
yeah, that's
Nice.
true.
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
I mean, I've
From Zero came out, yeah.
We've been doing this for 2 years now, I'd say.
Yeah, it's me sick of the songs. Yeah, they've been doing the songs for like 20 years, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
you know.
Also, I was thinking Chile has elevation too. You have to
Yeah.
think
Oh,
about
you know,
Vegas.
Well, no, Chile, not so much. It's
Bogota.
My
Bogota.
bad, Colombia. Yeah.
Yeah, Bogota is serious.
It is
It's
serious.
no
Yeah.
joke.
So
That was the first show on our tour too.
Really? Did
Uh,
you have a day before to
try to get adjusted.
barely? Yeah.
Barely, you know. There's oxygen
Of course.
stuff,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But,
What's the most shows you guys play in a row?
do you know Adam? Yeah,
Two.
Two.
Oh yeah, like you mean back to back?
Yeah.
So I mean, so two, and that's specifically because our production right now
takes time to set up.
Is so big. It's impossible to for them to tear down and then move it to a different city.
Yeah.
Day after day, so there has to be a day in between. So the only times that we ever do 2 in a row or 3 in a row or whatever is
you're playing the same.
Yeah, you're playing the same city. And I think we've only done 2 in a row. I don't think we've done 3 in a row.
What about you? What about Sepultura?
That would be amazing.
In
13?
a row.
Yeah, I mean that's
13
crazy.
shows.
You guys go hard too.
Yeah.
We used to go extremely hard, but not. I mean, now we're a little bit older, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. We've never taken a day off my whole entire career.
What was yours? Like 16?
Next year is 18, but I'm trying. But I want to take off a day. I'm taking days off on Mondays for now. I'm too old for this shit. Like I can't. I need a break, dude. Nobody plays on Mondays, bro.
Dude, that's not
in Europe.
How long are your shows? Because I've seen H2O.
Nothing like you.
No, but
you came to a Baltimore show. Thank you.
I did,
sick.
and it was
40
great.
minutes, 45 minutes.
So and I was just talking to. I just saw Eloy Casagrande the other day. And we were talking about Sepultura and Slipknot, also his experiences with Slipknot. So Eloy is the new drummer for Slipknot, and also used to be play with Derek and Sepultura. And we were just talking about this, and it's like I think he said that they played 90 minutes now. I don't know what you guys used to do with him,
right?
And 90 minutes is a long time when you're playing that heavy music. And so I do think that there's a difference between 90 minutes and 2 hours. Or a little over it. That, like I said, that last 30 minutes really is where the fatigue can potentially set in.
I agree.
You know, I don't know how Taylor Swift does 3-hour shows.
That's insane.
I'm just I mean, there's got to be breaks and stuff.
But she's not running around, jumping around either.
Like
we are.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, but
you saw the energy.
So I was gonna say, an H2O show, you guys are 40 minutes is all out.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
For sure. So that
was so cool. You pulled out. I was so happy about that show. It was sick.
Dude, that was everything I wanted it to be. It was
thank you.
Just fans jumping on stage and just bro, it was hardcore punk show, straight off the mat.
I missed that. You know, the
I appreciate you coming. I looked over you on the stage. I was that was so cool. Yeah,
that was dope, man. I was if I had the wrong shoes.
You have some weight.
I had
Air Force One.
Yeah, no, he looked good, man. He looked good.
I had some loafers on or something for some reason.
Hell yeah.
But if I had actually had some Nikes on or something, I was about to just go fucking head first over the barricade because I was so pumped up.
Yeah. So 40 minutes. Yeah, our 40 minutes is different to I guess the 2 hours of a.
Now we're playing an hour. I don't know.
You go off too, though.
Hour 50 minutes now, on a full show.
You guys, I mean, you, it's all the same though. You know what I'm talking about. It's just, it's just.
But
and I saw you up there, dude. You're banging the mic everywhere, and it's hard on your body.
It's
sure, dude.
Especially
hard. When you're 55 and 50, 53.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
Damn.
Yeah.
Woo, 38.
Young buck, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but you know what? You got your son who's up there, and how old's your son? 20?
22. Yeah.
22.
He's crushing it.
I mean, just up there, just holding it down.
He's holding it down, man.
Definitely holding it down. Definitely a game changer for us.
Yeah.
The drums got to have a lot of energy, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not tapping myself on the shoulder. I'm just saying.
I don't understand how certain drummers do it. You know, I mean, like you said, the last 30 minutes. Normally, it's in my head, I'm just oh God, please.
But you need a great drummer.
Happen. Yeah, and I always turn around. The drummers we've had have been phenomenal.
Bro, yeah.
I mean, top, and it's just to grind it out in those last 30. I'm how do you keep? That level of energy.
Sepultura has had the two, for those who don't know, the last two drummers you've had are literally two of the best drummers on earth. Eloy and Grayson Nekrutman are, if for those who don't know drummers, are the two of the literal best drummers on planet Earth, in my opinion.
They're fucking phenomenal.
And then Grayson now goes and does this that Buddy Rich traditional style big band stuff, and just
kills it,
bro. I don't know how you guys have done it.
He's doing the Whiplash tour right now too.
I know, which is insane.
Incredible.
Full-on orchestra.
I just watched that kid and I'm just what the fuck?
I'm in the wrong league. It's really
he's 22 as well.
Yeah, he's a young buck.
That's the key right here. Older bands with younger drummers. Do you know what I mean? It's like you get a recycled drum or something. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I mean,
shoot, man. I watch those guys and I'm like, I'm in the wrong
too.
sport.
I mean, I would always like want to turn around and be like, because I hear some things like, woo, you know, like certain things that they do a little different, you know, with every drummer is different. I love the different styles that they bring to the band. You know, it can really add so much variety, but it's great when they do something that's, you know, in the moment. And I hear those little things like, oh, hell yeah. Like,
Sepultura is cool though, because you guys have got that, there's like that, almost like Bali funk or like samba,
right?
Like influence that falls in there. So in with this like metal stuff, like hardcore stuff. So there's always like this degree of extra groove in that music that is very unique to your band. That's different than, you know, other metal bands.
Tribal. It's like a whole kind of
I think that's initially what drew me to, because I wasn't like the massive metalhead. You know, there were a lot of specific bands that I liked because lyrical content, or I just felt, you know, was bringing something pretty cool. But I've always admired that even before the band, like that element of you know, coming from Brazil with that mixture of different elements, you know, from indigenous to European to African styles, you know, in there. It's like very unique.
For sure.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing Poppy out with you, and she came on stage with you guys. I think it was in Argentina, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she was out with us for the whole South America run. And she's great.
Is she from Nashville?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah.
I think she is. And she definitely lives there now. And I mean, I've known Poppy, like, I mean, not super well, but we've run in the same circles for like probably the last, you know, 10 years or something. And so I remember seeing her like at parties and whatever, and back in when she was on Interscope, I think, and she was kind of doing this like dark pop thing for a while, and then watching her pivot into, you know, the last 6 years or something, pivot into like this crazy metal like hyper pop metal thing, and then refining that into now. And so, like, you know, the first day I watched her, we all went and watched her side stage, and you couldn't, because it's all in ears, you know, like there's no real PA or whatever backstage, and so I couldn't really see. I was just like, all I can really hear is like drums and and that's in the crowd. And then a couple days later, me and Dave went out and watched, my bass player Dave, we walked out to the front and got to see part of the show like from the front, and she is so good. I mean, live is like like the music connects, you know. Some artists, it's like they sound good and they're cool and they have a cool aesthetic, and there's like something that's like not connecting fully with the audience, but I felt like her music like gave me that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, her performance with Knock Loose was incredible too on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
that was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a crazy punk rock moment. It was like a pit on TV, and then the next day they were complaining to Jimmy Kimmel to like give a public apology for that performance because it was so shocking to the people watching. You know about that?
Yeah,
it was a crazy moment. I was like, damn, punk rock still lives.
What did Jimmy do?
He do shit.
Like,
No.
Good for him.
But just her coming out and then singing with them was like,
give
wow.
me an apology. Go fuck yourself.
Because they were so shocked by it.
Yeah,
okay. Well, isn't that what was supposed to happen?
That means punk rock's alive in 2025, man. It was a crazy moment.
Yeah. What did you expect?
Before we
here's some Hallmark music. Let's play that instead.
Sure.
Before we get to before we get to you and Linkin Park, I'm gonna go back a little bit to Tennessee. Just, you know, you graduated from high school, obviously, right?
Yes.
And what are your goals at that? What are your goals at that point?
To be in a band.
Okay.
At that point,
were you playing in music at that point?
Yeah, I had a band that eventually became the band that wound up getting signed. And
Oh No
stuff.
Fiasco?
Yeah, that was like the start of it. There was a different singer. We called it something different. But yeah, like we played our like senior night or whatever it was, like after graduation, you know. And
what kind of styles were you into, like musical styles?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So like the first thing I ever did was we had, my dad had like I told you my parents got divorced, and my dad had this house, and he was living basically with my now stepmom. But for a long time, he still had this house and all his music gear in it and stuff. And so I just had the keys to his house. It kept me out of trouble. And every day, sometimes I would skip school early and just go, and I'd spend all afternoon learning how to produce.
It's amazing.
And I didn't really have like any frame of reference. And so I was just learning how to use this little digital recorder. And we had like electric drums, so I didn't have to like mic up drums or anything.
Yeah.
And I remember we didn't really have like, I didn't have anybody that would play with me that was, a lot of them were like in sports or, it was like, oh, when can you come over? Oh, I can come over this weekend. And I'm like, I want to do this shit now.
Right.
So I just like did everything myself.
It's awesome.
And so our first, when I was 16, I made this like bunch of demos that was wound up getting uploaded. My guitar player uploaded it to like, what was it called? Pure Volume or something like that.
Okay.
You remember Pure Volume? And it was like a early SoundCloud sort of thing. And we got approached by Atlantic Records.
What?
When I was 16. And that never manifested into anything. But it made us go, holy shit, we actually could do this for real. And it was sort of like a Goo Goo Dolls like acoustic rock thing or something.
We were at that show.
That was like the first thing I ever did, and it was all me. That was all.
Did you cover the Goo Goo Dolls?
No, it was no covers. It was just all.
We're big fans of Goo Goo Dolls over here, by the way.
Yeah, it was all like kind of written like that, like acoustic soft rock essentially,
right? Yeah,
whatever. And then we, I think as we got a little older, we started, my guitar player like got a dual rec, and then wanted to play like it was like nu metal was like pretty poppin' at the time, and wanted to play more like radio rock nu metal kind of shit. There's this band called 10 Years from Knoxville, where I'm from, and they got signed to Universal Republic, and so that was like the biggest thing, right?
Okay.
So we were kind of, and it was like in the Tool Perfect Circle-y kind of radio rock shit. So that became where we were starting to live, I think, just by nature. When you're a teenager, you don't really know what you're doing. Right. And and eventually we got our singer. Her name is Lindsay, and we got a singer and started being more influenced by like Bjork and some of her things. So we had this kind of weird like Paramore adjacent. It was more like psychedelic probably than that, and that's kind of where we got signed off of.
Gotcha.
But I felt like my early music career in a band was, you're in a democratic sort of band, right? Like, so it's not just a solo artist. You're listening to everybody else. And it was this kind of chasing, it was like chasing trends a little bit. And we would find pockets of where we're like, this is us specifically. Then the singer would get tired of it. And then we'd want to do something else. And we get signed. And then it's like, cool, we get signed in 2012 or something. And then the label wants you to be more like what's on the alternative radio. So now we got to go chase that. And I felt like it was a bunch of chasing other shit and not being confident in myself to just put my foot down. Which is what eventually led me to LA, Were
you listening to Linkin Park back then?
Oh yeah, of course. I've talked about this a bunch, but it's like the Linkin Park was, to me, was almost an enigma. It was so big. It was like hard to like, it's like so influential, but also they were so big that I didn't even like consider them an influence back then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, they're just like, oh yeah, do you listen to Linkin Park? It's like, well, duh. Like, fucking is the sky blue? Like, obviously everybody listens to Linkin Park, but that's, so it was like an influence in a aggregate sort of way. I remember one of the things I've talked about when I first got my digital recorder, I took it home and I had this keyboard and I was like trying to recreate Faint, like a version of Faint. Like, and I'm like, I'm going to make this song, and I was listening to Faint and I tried to make the string sample and, but it was like, I was writing, quote unquote, writing my own song. So it was like a shitty version of Faint,
It's amazing.
basically. Cool. Like it's just so impossible to get something like that. So I was pretty influenced by like Incubus. Remember them? They were like a big
dude.
But a lot of the SoCal bands actually, and some of the punk stuff. There came out obviously like pop punk, like Blink-182. Obviously these bands.
Jimmy Eat World.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I was always more of like influenced by I think the songs, like the best songs. And that maybe has helped me be a producer better. Is like really getting after like a lot of my friends would be like, the songs were not as important as like the aesthetic of the band. So they would be like, oh, like you like the mainstream shit. And I'm like, my bass player always used to give me shit about that. Like, you just like the mainstream shit. And I'm like, I guess I do. I guess I just like great songs. And more often than not, the mainstream stuff has really good songs.
The catchy songs, melodic songs.
Yeah, that's the reason why a lot of people like it. Yeah,
were you a Linkin Park fan back then?
No, I wasn't, but it was something like you were saying. It was just so big that I just kind of knew the songs, and here it's like, oh yeah, it sounds like perfect at where it's at, like what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's like it's serving its purpose. Like you could tell, like, I don't know, it's
like in the fabric of
the
ethos.
I was like, they have their own identity. It just sounds good. But I started to get more into it once I started seeing clips and things of just the singing. I was just like, wow. Oh my God.
Now we're back on. Go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But no, I just slowly got into it after I started dissecting it because it was just so big. And I was like, I know. But seeing, I think, a lot of it like on video and like live and just like live performances, I was like, damn. They really go after it, like. I
mean, Chester was just, what a monster.
I was like really, really impressed. Like after that, I was like, okay, this is. But I always felt that the songs were just well written. You know, like you said, there was just like boom. I heard it. I was like, damn, it's in my head. It's
so
like
catchy, dude.
like really good melodies and really good breakdowns and dynamics and everything was there. I was just like, it's pretty cool.
I want to say that for me, I was too punk and too hardcore to listen to anything that wasn't what I was into. I wasn't into the rap rock and that stuff. And I feel like Linkin Park came out towards the end of all that. They weren't like in the beginning. They weren't with them in the mix. They stood out on their own. They had melodies, and that's what I loved. I love melodies. So when I heard Linkin Park, it wasn't a guilty pleasure, but I knew all those songs. Yeah. The videos, it stuff just stuck with you. Even if you didn't own one of the records, you knew all those songs.
But also, what's interesting is the bands. Hardcore fans, and I was like, wow, that was something that was, I think, the most impressive. The connection that they have with their fans. Like they have a solid. I mean, you guys have a solid fan base. Like it's like loyal, and it changed like a lot of people's lives
for sure.
Yeah. Like generation. Like I hear people talking about, like, damn, they've really done like every musician's dream to have that connection with your fans, where it's just like, wow, like that real connection, not like a Instagram like famous band. Like a lot of times nowadays,
back then. Yeah,
it was just like real connection where it's just like diehards. And
they've always like pushed forward in a lot of different ways that I've always admired. For example, Joe Hahn, our DJ, is a like masterful video director.
Yes.
And a great visual artist also. And so his like vision with the music videos. Mm-hmm. And he's directed for other artists too, but like his vision for the videos and how to always push and to get more out of what, if you have $1, get the most out of that and more, you know what I mean? And then even people who aren't in the band, but are like, in the team, like our friend Mark Fiore is our, lead videographer and content aggregator. And, he's been traveling with the band since 2001. And he did like that Alive in Texas thing, I think, right, Adam? And like a lot of the LP TV episodes, which before YouTube, that was like a thing that they would stream on their website, for fans. Like they were the first to do that. And Mark was the guy that was editing all that stuff together and capturing all that stuff, like with tape and then with digital. Yeah. And like fading cuts together, and like the way that he artistically put all those early videos together wound up influencing a whole generation of content creation.
Right.
And he'll never take credit for it because he's so humble. But
that's incredible.
But there's just people like that all around the camp. Not to speak just about like Mike's production and it's the fan interaction.
For sure.
It's the like, how are we approaching every little thing from like an artistic creative point of view, but also adding value. And it's that way like on every single detail, and has always been that way as far as I can tell. And so like I think that has a lot to do with why the fans are so connected. It's been all by design, I think, and coming from a really good place, and all the people around really care. Even this guy Adam, who's sitting here, I know I've been talking to him a lot.
He was with him for 18 years.
Adam's been sitting next to me over here, and Adam has been with them for forever. And like
that says a lot about him and them.
Well, him and his partners, Lorenzo and Jess, like they do a lot of our pop-ups around the world that we do, and those are just like a lot of times like the coolest, most original thing. Linkin Park, Linkin Pizza in Italy. Like these
It's
collaborations are like so well thought out, and like
Right.
the fan experiences are so unique and to the region, and
Yeah.
there's so
Right.
much energy and love that goes into cooking every single one of those ingredients. That
Amazing.
Yeah.
and so I think that's kind of like seems like that's the secret sauce, is just having people who really care and who are really good at thinking of these original ideas, and
Yeah.
with the fans in mind.
100%.
Right.
Is your earphones being weird for a
Yeah.
second? It's okay. But one thing I want to say, the key thing we didn't mention Linkin Park, it's the lyrical content and their message.
True.
Because there was stuff on the radio that was like, no disrespect, Fred Durst is my dude, but I wasn't really connecting with Nookie or breaking things. It just seemed like something that was more, it was just different. And then Linkin
You're
Park
right.
came
Yeah.
with a message and lyrics and like
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
things they were singing about and connecting to fans about. It was real life shit.
Yeah.
Not that anything else wasn't, but everything was more like kind of flashy and bright
Right.
and rappy, and they were just like, they had some
And then
just lyrical content on the radio,
100%, I agree. And also, I think
Message.
the timing, like you're saying, at that time, there
Yeah.
were a bunch of bands that weren't really, they were great, but they weren't saying deep things that a lot of people were feeling at the time. And I think it really connected with a generation of people at that time. Perfect timing, and this is coming from like super Linkin Park fans. When I speak to them, they're like, oh, it changed my life. It was like generational band, it's just like, wow, massive for them. And so I think I admire that. It's like really, really incredible to have that.
I'm going to say something I never said something on this podcast before, and people said Linkin Park to us a bunch, but my band Hazen Street was influenced by Linkin Park.
Right.
I'm going to keep it a buck.
That
We never even
makes
talked
sense.
about
Yeah.
that, like the two-singer thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We came out 2004, and people kept saying, oh, they're the hardcore wannabe Linkin Park. But we liked the hard vocals and the melodic vocals and all that, like 100%.
Yeah, and there was so many people like who've done, there's, like I said, like we were talking about Under Oath,
Yes.
like Aaron Gillespie and Spencer Chamberlain. It's a good idea, man.
It's a great idea. The more I think, I'm like, yeah,
Good idea,
splitting it up.
Maybe you knew band would have two singers, yeah.
Yeah.
It also puts a little less stress live.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
I think it'd be hard to do one singer for 2.5 hours or whatever. Like, Derek's over there like, yeah, man, I don't.
Yeah, 311 had 311 has two singers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Of course.
Let's give it back and forth.
Yeah.
You guys mind if I take a bathroom break?
Yeah, go. Let's go. Yeah. This is fuck. Okay, we're back from a bathroom break now.
All right.
We're back on. All right, so back to you.
Yeah.
Bands in school.
Yeah.
And then you graduate. Like, do you have a job when you're in school, high school?
I think so. I had my first job ever. My dad got me a job with my friend Travis Wyrick, who's a just legendary, like more in the Christian rock producer space.
Nice.
He's a great producer, and he was in Knoxville and never left, and so a lot of people come to him. He worked with like POD,
Nice.
this band Pillar. He worked with Dolly Parton. He's worked with like a bunch of people. And yeah, so I remember like the first day I walked into the studio, I lied about my age to get in there. I told him I was like 16 or 17 or whatever, and I was 15. And so I get in there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll give your kid like he can come clean the bathrooms or whatever." And
Nice.
we came in, and like first thing I ever saw him do was this band called Copper, and actually
I remember Copper. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I remember Copper.
So do you know
that
Keith
name, yeah.
Wallen? Do you know him?
No, I know
He's
the
this
name Copper though. Yeah.
singer of this band, is now the guitar player in Breaking Benjamin.
Okay.
But that was like the first project I ever saw, and I remember seeing it or hearing this shit come off the speakers, and I was like, that is the craziest thing. I can't believe that guy just recorded this, and I'm hearing this the way
Yeah.
it is. I was like, I just never, because a lot of you go to like studios and stuff, and I'd be honest, like a lot of people aren't really that good at recording music,
Okay.
And so like I would go into studios with my dad or whatever, and hear stuff back. I'm like, yeah, it sounds okay, I guess. But then this was like, oh my God, it's young and it's loud and
Yeah.
it's crispy, and this is great. How are they making this sound? So I spent, every day I would show up early, I would leave late, and then as soon as I would go home, I'd drive home to my dad's house. I had keys to his house, and I would like go and with my little digital recorder try to like recreate some of those. There was this one story.
Cool.
I remember like I would learn how to like baffle guitar cabs, for example, which now we use modelers, mostly like digital modelers, but used to have to like point a microphone in front of an amplifier. And
I'm still thinking that.
Still supposed to do that.
You're still supposed to do that, right? But anyway, I would like watch him like put like packing blankets around a cab.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even know why I was doing that. So my dad had this like TV cabinet, and he had this Vox AC15 tube amplifier, like combo amp. And I like put it in there like with like comforters around it or something. And I left the amp on one time and like left, and then my dad happened to come back the next morning and like he like goes in there and it's like amp is like smoking almost because it almost set the house on fire. He called me up and was just like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like,
it's so like
burn my house down.
It's great that you learned those like old school techniques.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you did.
Yeah.
We didn't used to have.
It's super important.
We had like the pod, this little thing that looked like a little red bean, and it was a Line 6 pod. It was like one of the first amp modelers. Plug it direct into the PA system and make it sound kind of like a guitar amp.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a bunch of that like early 2000s, late 90s digital gear.
Yeah.
And you just do the best you can with it. And it was a really important time. I got away from production because I joined a band.
Right.
Kind of wanted to do that. So, and then eventually I guess came back to it.
Yeah.
So,
Your band started in Tennessee.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man.
How old were you then when that band started?
16.
Wow. Okay.
Probably 17, maybe. Probably 17. And yeah, and then we made it for different iterations. And I left for LA when I was 26.
Okay.
So.
You didn't go to college?
No.
Just music. That's it.
That was it.
And when did you move out of your house? How old were you when you moved out?
I was fucking like as soon as I could. I actually
Out of
like
there?
my dad had this whole thing. I went to a year of community college after high school. And
for plan B in case.
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I was like, look, I want to try the band thing or whatever. And so I went to a community college instead. I got into a couple of like universities, but I decided to go community college. And his whole thing was like, look, okay, well, if you're not going to go to a university and live in a dorm, then you need to spend at least 1 year at my house you're going to live. I'm not going to just like give you keys to an apartment and just like, let you go, do whatever 18-year-olds do. And so, but what I did was I was like working a job, and I paid rent at this other house, just so I had the room,
Wow.
And then he found out about that. my landlord like called him someday, like called the house to like get a hold of me for some reason. And my dad answered the phone, and he was pretty pissed. He was just like, what, you've been renting this, like, this isn't, but that's what I did. I didn't tell him, and I just rented the house. So I'd like stay part of the week at his house and then stay, whatever. And,
wow.
and so I was trying to get out quick. Don't lie to your parents, kids, by the way. But like, that's what I thought was the best thing to do. I wanted to live in a house with my bandmates. And
of course, yeah.
It's awesome, man.
So,
But your dad was supportive of the music once you really got into it?
He's been so great this whole time.
Yeah.
He's, like I said, from day one, just always really supported the vision, and always was really encouraging. And yeah, I mean, I can't say anything, say much less about it. He just has always really, really been supportive, and of all my siblings too, because my sister was signed to Warner.
Oh wow!
What?
Yeah, she was signed to Warner Brothers.
Solo artist?
Yeah, as a solo artist and as a writer. And then my other brother was in my band.
Okay.
Wow.
And so he was obviously signed with a publishing deal. And so,
that's amazing.
So, we had 3 out of the 5 of us were like, at one point, 3 out of the 5 of us were signed to a major record deal and a publishing deal at the same time.
That's
different,
incredible.
but,
right.
So yeah, it's, and then I'm the only one standing still. Everybody else kind of got smart.
He's doing the music game.
I mean, no, go on.
Good.
I was curious, like, who's like, okay, so with playing in a band or producing, like for somebody that's young, like, what would you say is like better for if you wanted to make money?
Neither one, honestly.
Good.
I got super lucky.
Right.
I'm super freaking lucky. And I always say it's like you're too tough to die, too dumb to quit.
Yes.
That's kind of where you have to be. And now it's, I don't even know. I have some people ask me now about like, where would you do if you're starting now? And I'm like, I don't even know. Cause like when I really started my production career, like really, it was probably 2013, 2014 when I moved to LA and worked for Feldman. That was when my production career really started. I was doing stuff before that on the side to make money and stuff, but like that was when I started, and it's just a totally different game. There's a bunch of AI stuff out now. Making music. Spotify and doesn't pay songwriters appropriately. I don't mind saying that publicly. Like they don't have to.
Right.
There's no laws about it, and so it's just a hard business to be in. It's not like that's not why you get into it to make lots of money.
Right.
You know. And if you do make lots of money, then you're extremely lucky.
Yeah.
And
you probably made no money with your band, just touring and tour support.
No, but you know what? We were always like really lean and self-sufficient, and that's how I operated my production career.
Okay.
And I attribute that to how I survived for so long, because when we owned a van. We owned a Sprinter van actually, which back then was like pretty unique. Found like a cheap, found like a Sprinter van for like $20,000 in Florida.
Amazing.
We took a loan out, and my dad and my bass player's dad like helped us like get the down payment or whatever, and we took a loan out. We had a trailer, we had a place to practice, we all had our own gear, and we would go out and we would all like have like we had like this little cooler. You go to Walmart, and I was booking our shows at first, and we got an agent, but we'd go to Walmart and have like a cooler with like sandwich meat and stuff in it. Had a little flat screen TV in there, and playing video games, and we could sleep in our van because it was tall and we had bunks and stuff. And so we could do these tours and get paid $300 a night and just cruise, sell some merch. We had enough gas money. We'd every couple of days get a hotel if we needed to, one hotel room for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
And we could just tour on and on and on. And actually we were making money. We had enough, we'd come home with enough money to pay everybody's rent and pay everybody's phone bill.
It's awesome.
And we just were like, well, we could do this forever, And other bands would be like, we can't afford to do this tour, and I'm like, our guitar player Seth was always like really great with like keeping the books balanced,
on point.
On point. I was good at negotiating with promoters and with agents and stuff, and having like a bird's eye view of everything. And my bass player Thomas was also really savvy at business, and so we just knew how to put it in the pocket, what we could afford to do. And we took chances on tours that like couldn't pay us. We did Warped Tour one time. They were paying us $400 a day. And we came home with money, believe it or not. Like, not a lot of money, obviously. Came home with money, and other bands would just, shrivel up. And we were like, we had 3 of us in the band that were really good at knowing how to play that game.
How was the Warped Tour for you guys?
Oh, it was brutal.
It's so brutal.
Kevin Lyman though was like, Kevin Lyman was great for us. He was really sweet. He always put us on the main stage.
The best, dude.
Gave us a great look. Always supported artists really well, and
it's a brutal, great tour, man.
It was
a lot of good things come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they would like we would like schlep our first couple days, like the tour people don't know you, and you get on this tour and you're like hauling ass at 7:30 in the morning across like hot parking lot.
Yeah, it's crazy, Derek.
Loading your own shit, and then they'd be like, "All right, well, we'll take the drum case today because you guys are pretty good." And the next day, the next show, they'd be like, "All right, we'll take your keyboard case," And then eventually, like, they took all our heavy stuff, and I'm like, just magically, enough space appeared in the truck.
Yeah,
it was like the ultimate hazing.
Totally, dude.
But they saw you, they're like, okay, well, these kids are like really not entitled, and they work hard.
Yeah.
And
there's definitely some mental bullying that goes on the Warped Tour and different.
We were so different too than Warped Tour bands. We were not in that metalcore or like Warped Tour-y scene. It was 2012.
Yeah. Hilly was just talking about they were the youngest band ever on the Warped Tour when they first got on there, and her being a girl singer and just getting on that tour and that whole world, just like you really got to prove yourself, And
we had a female singer, Lindsay Stamey. We had just made our album, and at the same time, this band Pierce the Veil was there. Do you know Vic? I don't know if you know Vic.
I know the band's huge.
And they were like recording with our producer / other producer Dan Corniff in the same building. There was like 3 bands, and the 2 of us would sort of like we just connected really well. So like Lindsay wound up featuring on their collab with the Sky album.
Nice.
You know, me and Vic would like, you know, I'd be sitting there smoking weed in the control room, just watching them record guitars, and we became tight after that. And so like Vic was on Pierce Avail was on that tour, on the Warped Tour, and so they gave us some props. You know, they kind of like, they were always really supportive and nice.
That's awesome.
And so we had friends in higher places at the time, and we were like an indie pop band. We were listening to like Metric. I don't know if you know them.
I know the name Metric, yeah.
The Sounds.
Sounds great.
Santa Gold.
Santa Gold, yeah.
But we were playing like rock music, but kind of were like influenced by those kind of bands, and we dressed in like really colorful outfits and shit. And you know, it was a mishmash. We would play like after, you know, Vanna or someone like that, and these just deathcore metal bands, and we'd play on these huge stages. We play like after Every Time I Die or something on the main stage.
Okay.
Damn.
You know, and it was like so not, cause we weren't pop punk, we weren't emo, we weren't metal.
In your own lane, yeah.
Yeah, it was so different, and so sometimes the fans didn't know what to do with us, but you know, we did it.
What was the big market for you guys?
We were
Like
bigger.
your biggest market.
We
yeah.
were bigger in the Southeast, definitely. Like, I guess, but I wouldn't say big. You know, we'd play like a couple hundred kids in Nashville, and you know, that kind of thing. So it wasn't ever anything special, but looking back on it, but it felt like there was a lot of energy at the time.
Yeah. How many years you guys together?
Probably 4 in that arrangement. And then, like I said, we got signed. It's like the death of every band.
For sure.
Get signed, and then, you know,
To a major?
we were signed to 11-7. We were distributed through a major.
What was the first one? 11?
11-7
I remember
music.
that. Yep.
Yeah. And we signed that label because Shiny Toy Guns and this.
Love Shiny Toy Guns. Shout out to Kara Faye, man.
Yeah, Shiny Toy Guns.
Amazing.
Shiny Toy Guns was we toured with them a few times.
Wow, that's cool.
And who else was on it? She Wants Revenge.
Yep.
This other band from the Valley, and they were 2 bands we really looked up to, and they were signed to the record label. I think actually
That's so cool.
I think the actual subsidiary was called 5-7, but it was under the 11-7 music group, which had really made their money off of, like, you know, Steven Tyler and Buck Cherry and like Papa Roach and
Buck Cherry.
You know, bands like that, like kind of like rock bands, you know.
Yeah.
But then they were trying to do like an alternative subsidiary label, so that's what we were technically under. But it was the same group of people. So yeah,
I love Shiny Toy Guns, man.
Great people.
They
band.
did a couple big records too. I remember some of those moments for them too.
They were really cool live, and also they treated us really nicely. I remember Kara. She was really sweet, and we stayed on their tour bus one night. Me and my brother stayed on their. They like invited us to like sleep over on their tour bus one night. We thought it was the coolest thing. You know,
that's cool. So then that band ends. What year has that been over?
I left for LA.
2015 around that time.
I left for LA around the end of 2013.
Okay.
And I think they did like a South by Southwest performance with another drummer, but I know I felt like I was a little bit of the lifeblood of that organization.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't last much longer after that.
And then the only person you really knew out here was your friend, right? That brought you to LA?
Yeah, pretty much. I had a few friends. One of my best friends, Jake Thomas, actor Jake Thomas, and his fiance Tracy. They're 2 of my closest friends. They like let me stay at their place, you know, and like they were really supportive. I had some really good friends. My friend David Davis, engineer. I had some friends out here that were looking after me.
And how long are you doing the engineering and helping with Feldman before you had a session with Shinoda? That's kind of happened. I read that you met during a session, maybe.
Yeah. So I
left
left Feldman's in the summer of 2014. I wound up producing for One OK Rock, who I'd worked with Feldman, and I wound up going to Japan and working with those guys. And so like that next year, we had a big record with them, and like that whole next full year was through 2015. I got married in 2015, and like that whole year was really strange and kind of bleak for me. But I was I was like mixing a lot. I was mixing a lot of because my mixes sucked. Like my productions were good, but my mixing wasn't good, and so I spent a lot of time working like called Tom Lord Algae. I don't know if you know Tom Lord Algae.
Yes, legend.
So like he and I became friends,
wow.
and we call him all the time and get mix tips. And I was right down the street from Tony Maserati, and so I knew his crew, and so I was picking up stuff all the time, and I was mixing a lot of Japanese bands because One OK Rock was so big, and that was kind of my first hit.
Okay.
And so like I was doing a lot of that, and then the beginning of 2016 came around, and I had One OK Rock's album, which I produced, and then I was working with All Time Low, and I wound up later that year producing that album, this album called Last Young Renegades, and then also at that same time I met Papa Roach, and wound up producing their album also, and between the three of them, that really was like, that's when I met Mike Easterlin and Fueled by Ramen and the Atlantic crew. And that's really when my career took a whole different, people started taking me seriously as an individual producer.
Yeah.
Started getting a lot more sessions that I wanted, and the money started coming in more, and I could build out my studio a little more,
Nice.
So you're doing it from your house during that time too?
I when I left Feldman's, I wound up renting. This is a crazy story. One OK Rock, they flew me to Japan. I was working in Nick Long's garage, or working at a friend of ours' garage, this guy Asher Simon up in Los Feliz, for a month or two, and he was nice enough to like let me stay there and didn't charge me any rent. And I wound up going to Japan, producing 3 more songs for One OK Rock's album. I didn't have any money, by the way. I was destitute.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting called when I came back to the States from Jamil Kazmi, who's One OK Rock's sort of manager. He's like, hey, the band wants to have you produce these like in full, like these are the songs. So what I did was I came back to LA. So like, let's just say it was the 5th of September. I don't know what day it was, but let's just say it was the 5th. The morning of the 5th, I flew into LA, rented this spot that I was in, moved up. There was nothing there, and I was by myself. And I basically, from like 7 in the morning, and the session was supposed to start at 5 p.m. So I moved all my shit up there, like folding table, hooked all this stuff up. I went to the head shop, like, and found these like tapestries to put on the walls, and decked the place out in like 6 hours by myself, and made the session.
Wow.
By like 30 minutes. I was like sweeping the floors at 30 minutes before the show, and produced the songs, and that was like my start. And got a little bit of money, you got, okay, here's $7,000, and you're just
shit,
like, I'm rich now. What do I do with this?
Right.
And yeah, so like that's that's literally the day I started, was that day.
Was that your first big paying gig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
First
awesome.
First quote unquote real money, where you're like, you're just like, oh shit, okay, cool. Like I got enough to survive,
right?
For the next couple months.
Especially in LA too, man. It's
yeah.
So I was living there. I wasn't married yet. I was living there on the couch, and I rented I had a 24-hour fitness, like down the street, membership to go shower.
Wow.
So I could get up there every day, and I did that for about a year. And just slept on my couch. And
grinding, dude.
Yeah, and then we got married, and my wife.
How'd you meet her?
Well, she and I have been together since 2010, probably 2011.
Okay.
And so we got married, and then she was still in grad school back in Tennessee. So like, we'd fly every month or so to see each other.
Yeah.
And then, during the breaks, she would come and live in LA. So she found the apartment. We had this little studio apartment in Burbank, and she rented that, and I rented the studio, and that was like how we split it for a while. And so then once I got married, I had like a place to go and sleep, and my dog was with me, and we did that for a couple of years, and then you eventually build and move to a different place, and eventually we bought a house, and yada yada. So to fast forward 2021, I'd actually moved back to Nashville
during the pandemic. You moved back?
Yeah, because our daughter was born in May 2019.
Amazing.
And 2021, she was 2. We moved back to Nashville for a couple of years, and that's when I met Shinoda. I was still coming to LA a lot, and I met Shinoda through my through my manager, Matt Mashi. And we were working on like some young artist, and the session was weird. It wasn't like the best session, but Shinoda and I really connected. And so we became friends, and he kept inviting me over back to LA to like work on productions that he was working on for other artists. And so we did that for, a while, like, probably close to a year.
And there was no Linkin Park at that time, or any.
No, I was afraid to even bring it up. Sometimes I would like ask stories, and it's like, how did you do? What was it like? And as we became more comfortable, like I met his studios at his house, so I met his kids, met his wife, and I was just kind of became a local vagrant that would show up, so they kind of got to know me a little bit, and eventually one day he texted me and he said, I was in Nashville. He texted me. He's like, hey, I'm thinking about something about an LP, this is what I read. I was like, an LP. And I thought he was talking about an LP, like a album for Mike Shinoda, because he was releasing his own music at that time. So I flew back to LA, not reading the text message all the way.
Oh my god.
And what it said was for LP. But what I thought he said was, it said was for an LP. I brain put in, and so I got there and he's like, well, I just want to play you some ideas and stuff, and I started hearing it. I said, that sounds a lot like Linkin Park, And he goes, yeah, that's what this is for. And I was just like, what? Yeah. And my fucking my heart went through my eyeballs.
I can't even imagine.
Bro.
You must have been bugging out.
I was just trying to be cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that.
Oh yeah.
Shaking.
And then so like that was 2022, and so like eventually it was like, okay, Joe's here from Hawaii. Joe's living in Hawaii, so like met Joe, met Dave, and they would, we would just do every month or two, I'd come in for a couple of days and do more sessions. And
nice.
When you heard the songs for the first time, you're like, then he said that, you're like,
I was like, it sounds a lot like, the music sounds like Linkin Park. I mean, there was no singer other than him, so he was singing all the parts. And so,
did those songs end up being on the record?
Sure, okay. Some of them.
Wow. Okay.
There was a lot of songs, but Emptiness Machine was one of them. Was one of the songs that I heard. That was like the early version of it, which was totally different. But yeah. So
damn.
Wow.
So you go home and tell your lady, like, oh my god, I'm working on something.
Yeah, and she's so funny because she's like she's like, that's great. Like,
good for you, honey.
Yeah,
go change your baby's diapers.
Her music is, she loves music, but she's got like such a different, emotional context for, like, her stuff is always like, she loves like that early 2000s like pop country stuff. That's what she is attached to.
Yeah.
She loves like Keith Urban and
yeah, it's cool,
stuff like that. So it's like it's so separate.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So now you start working on songs with them.
Yeah.
Like writing songs with them, and they're.
Yeah, I mean, it was in kind of the same capacity that I work with anybody, which is just like, Mike in this situation is such a dominant producer. Like, he so knows it's at his space, and he knows how to like get he knows what he's doing.
Right.
So in that way, I was sort of just, I have my laptop set up and make sounds in it, and sometimes I sit down in Pro Tools and, let me try some stuff, and then he'd go disappear and write lyrics for an hour, and I'd be sitting there with Dave or Joe or whoever, and let me try this guitar part, and you just piece stuff together just in the same way that I always work with anybody. And
but there's no official talk like we're making a new record with you.
No, it was like, we don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know if this is even going to come out. We don't know any of the, like, we just know that we miss each other, and we miss, and we're willing to just start painting and see if the universe is willing to give us some fish.
Mm-hmm.
And so it slowly became more obvious. And then of course eventually Emily Armstrong started coming by.
Okay.
And first I ever met Emily, I remember hearing her say, it was just me and Mike and our friend Jake Torrey. And I remember the first day I heard her get in the vocal booth, and I was just like, that sounds a lot like the girl from Dead Sarah.
Yeah.
And Mike is like, that's who she, and I was just like, oh man, I love that band, There's actually a video, Fiore was there, Mark Fiore was there, and I think he actually like captured that exact moment that made me realize like who Emily was.
Okay.
Because I loved Dead Sarah.
Yeah.
And that was like, to me, I never said anything about it, but I was like, this feels like it to me. Of course, I never said that because I didn't want to put that out in the universe without You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't in
Right.
the band. I was just a collaborator.
And you heard it. You heard her singing some of the new stuff, not anything old at that point.
Yeah. This was all new stuff.
Yeah.
This is all new stuff. That didn't come till much later. But then, by the way, like when that started happening, because Emily and I, we were still finishing the album. So Brad, Delson, this is fast forward into 2020.
How many years you working on this record?
I mean, we started. I don't know when Mike started writing for it, but I started coming in with the intention of Linkin Park. I think probably in September of 2022, more or less.
Okay.
So 2 full years.
Oh wow.
But I remember seeing Emily and being like, "Oh, okay, like so this feels different," because there were some other vocalists that would come by and try some things and whatever, and some of which I was there for, some of which I wasn't.
Were these like tryouts or just?
No, none of it was ever. That's the thing is like it was never a like we're gonna do shows even.
Yeah.
It was just like let's just write songs and just see what happens, and maybe it's a Linkin Park thing and maybe it's not.
Have a couple of people try to sing certain songs and check it out. Yeah, get a vibe.
Yeah, or like write songs with somebody.
Okay.
And I heard a few different things and met a few different people, and I was again always quiet about that. I just kind of was like observing in a certain way, and just remember when Emily came by. It wasn't just her voice; it was like just the energy.
Sure, amazing.
And but fast forward like into 2024, what the album was sort of being done. Brad Delson was then a part of the picture, a guitar player. Brad, and so Brad and Mike would be like maybe working on some stuff, and then Emily and I on the same day would be like at my house learning songs, like old songs. And so when I heard her sing, it was just me and her like playing the tracks in my studio, playing drums, and we're just like learning together, and hearing her kind of like find her voice through that old stuff was I was like, this is totally gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, she's incredible, man.
Yeah.
But let's go back for 1 second. When did they tell you like you're the dude playing the drums on the record? You're the dude in the band. Like when's that officially happen?
I don't think that was ever really like a there were moments.
It was never said. It just
there was
organic.
like there were like moments of like there was this one time we all went out to dinner with our manager Bill, and they basically were like it was me and Mike and Bill and Dave and Joe, and they were like, look, we don't know where this is going, but we know that we like you and we would love for you to come along with us on this journey, but we don't know what that is. And that was it. And so that was like the first time probably where I was like, okay, cool, clear the schedule, go to the gym, get in shape, and then of course we spent a month at East West Studios putting an album together, and that's when it started feeling like a band. I think when we all started like getting in every day in a big studio and like going like really getting to know each other at a more intimate level than before, and just solidifying that friendship,
the bond. Yes. Yeah.
And then I mean like eventually after we had already really started kind of rehearsing, we already had shows lined up.
Remember the first practice when you guys were playing those older songs together too?
No, I don't, because it was like the band, like we had an idea of the launch show. We already had the record sort of in works.
This was a live stream you did, right? Correct.
Yeah, right. So Emily and I had already started been working for a couple of months at my house, and then it was like, okay, we're gonna set up, have the crew set up at this place, and start building the actual set. And so then like Emily and I would show up at the bigger place and start working our stuff out on the real drums and on the yada yada, and then like Dave would come in and start playing, and Mike could be like working on the album at the house, and Joe would come in some days and like fuck around and jam with us for an hour or two, and then eventually Mike showed up and would like jam with us, and so it was like piecemeal together, and then eventually it was like, okay, now let's all get together and bang this out. And we didn't have a touring guitar player, because Brad was like early on, he's like, I don't want to tour anymore, it's stressful for me, and I'd rather be a creative, in the creative seat, and that's where he wants to be. And so we didn't have a guitar player, so like our guitar tech Mark Van Gool was like playing the guitar parts.
Nice.
So it was just piece by piece.
Yeah.
Really
Did you
slow.
ever like crazy moments where you're like, oh my God, I'm playing these songs that I grew up listening to or hearing when I was young? Or
I felt like I was just doing what I do the best until probably about I don't know. I think it might have been like the Forum, and like in the end,
right?
And we were just like, I felt like Max is going surfing.
Go talk to my podcast. Get out. I love you. Bye. Get out of here. Get out of here. Bye. So the Forum show we were at, one of the Forum shows, which was incredible.
The first Forum show, and I think I had like an out of body experience.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I think I was like detached from myself for a minute. I was like, this is fucking
It's
wild.
gotta be surreal, dude.
Yeah, this is a weird time in a good way.
So the first thing you launched was a YouTube. That was like a worldwide live thing. I think that was last year, September 24th.
September 5th.
Yeah, 2024.
Yep.
And where was that? Where'd you guys do that from?
Where was that, Adam? Warner
Brothers. Okay, yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Was anything announced leading up to like this? We have a new drum. Nothing was really announced.
Nothing.
Wow, dude.
It was a lot to. I think if I had thought about it enough, I was so busy thinking about what my part was to play.
Yeah.
And and like that was all I could think about. And I think if I had like zoomed out too far, I would have just had a
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Because like, first of all, nobody knew anything. And not only all of that, we're releasing a new song, introducing a new singer, introducing a new drummer, introducing a new era of this legendary band that I grew up with that I have so much admiration for. Also, we're doing it via live stream, and we're doing it live. Like there's no like do-overs.
Yeah.
It's not like we're recording it and then, because we initially kind of thought, well, maybe we should just like do it, record it, and then take an hour to edit it, whatever, and then post it. And then I think Dave was like, nah, fuck it, man. Like, just ride or die. Like, let's go. Hands off the wheel.
Right.
And there's so many things that could go wrong with that.
Sure.
It's your first impression out. Right?
100%
So like,
for the world.
And man, it was so much, but also like such a good idea to do that, and just to let the
How many people were there? Like in the audience, was just friends and family, kind of.
Yeah, there was like 1,000 fans, probably 1,000 people.
Okay.
Which is small, compared to what we've been doing, but like, but also like the most passionate fans.
Yeah.
And none of them knew what they were getting.
And how are they picked from all around the world?
Adam? Sent an email out. Yeah, it was like Adam
tell us what's up, Adam.
Yeah, what's up? We basically just sent an invite out to the fan club members. Linkin Park's had a fan club for 25 years, and said, be part of something, Los Angeles, date, that's it. That's all they knew. We had people fly from all over the world.
How long did they get a heads up in advance?
A week?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, man. It was crazy.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah, and then also it was, so like they had to show up at another location.
Gotcha.
And then there were like buses that took them.
Wow.
So
serious diehard bands.
It was cool. It was very like,
they must have been losing their minds, man.
Yeah, nobody knew what they're like, is it a new show? Is it are we going to sell them timeshares?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? Is it a new merch line? Is it a new?
That must have been electrifying, man, for them.
Yeah,
I
think they probably imagined that there was some kind of a meet and greet, and maybe like some kind of a like, I don't know what people thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I would have thought it was like a meet and greet and like maybe some like new re-release of a,
for sure,
greatest hits, or I don't know.
It must have been a crazy experience for them, and to be there for that.
And then they all showed up, and then like the stage was there, and then I think they were all like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna play," right?
And do you come out? Are they spoken to when you guys come on stage? Does Mike or somebody say something to the crowd? Like,
Mike said the coolest thing ever, which was he just said like, it's great to see you all again, and I was just like, it was perfect.
Nice.
Damn, it is so perfect.
Yeah.
Simple
sure.
And just like really from the heart, and and then like, and of course introduced Emily. I think one of our managers, Ryan DeMarty, we were gonna start with one of the older songs, Somewhere I Belong, or something like that, and he said, well, you know what? Actually, we should start with the Emptiness Machine. And because we didn't design it this way, but it's like Mike starts out the whole first verse and first chorus by himself.
Yep.
And then Emily comes in on the second verse. And so we all 5 got up there and played the song up through the first chorus, and then Emily walked up. And it was sort of like, and Ryan's whole thing was like,
damn.
I think I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, you wouldn't introduce your significant other at a party like by just putting her out there.
Sure.
You'd have you go and say hello first.
Yes.
And hey, how are you? How's it been? Oh, by the way, here's this new person.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
damn, man. And she comes out, and then she's probably so nervous. Who knows what she was going through her head?
I mean,
wow.
I think one of the interesting things about that for me was like we built this beautiful stage, and it was this one-off stage was only used for the live stream and the lighting rig, and the whole time we were doing it, we also shot like the Two-Face video on that.
Yeah.
So like the whole time there was like a film of plastic over the top of it, so we didn't scuff it up.
Yeah.
So we were rehearsing on that thing for like a week, and with this thin plastic over the top of it. And so like the day of the show, they take the plastic off, and for whatever reason, the adhesive of the plastic made the stage incredibly slick. So we go up there to play, and it's like ice. You're on ice, literally. So if you watch closely enough, you see like some people kind of slipping around. And,
damn.
It was really I laughed about it. There was nothing could be done about it. We were just like, well, so just gonna have to deal with it. Just hope. So it's like added an extra little layer of holy shit. Which is kind of funny.
And then after it's done, you must feel so good after that first performance. And
what a weird time it was. I tell people it's like going through a vortex a little bit, because you're prepared for this, but all of a sudden I've spent my whole career behind the scenes.
Totally.
And then you walk back to the dressing room, and it's like you have 50,000 new followers and people messaging you from all over the world, and like whatever, and you're just that amount of energy and interest in you as a person is so strange.
Right.
And everybody like Googling, searching Dead Sarah and all that stuff about who's the singer and just all that stuff. Just like,
of course.
I remember seeing the video Mike did. I don't know how it was after that, but just saying basically like, hey, like we're back. We're doing this because we miss doing it. These are the new people in the band. Come check it out. If you don't like it, basically saying, come give it a shot before you judge it.
Right.
He really did really cool, like heartfelt video. I remember seeing that. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean Mike and the rest of the guys in the band have been so gracious and like encouraging and generous to me and Emily. Like I can't express that enough how like encouraging and every time it's like almost anytime he can, he's always like, have you met Colin? Have you met Emily? Have you these are the guys, like these are so, and I'm like, he didn't have to do that. Like really, like we're here because we love this music and we love the people. But he's really, I say Mike specifically because he's the one who's probably done the most press and interviews and stuff. But also Dave and Joe too, and Brad. Like they're all 4 of them have been so gracious and positive and like encouraging and kind of like older brothers a little bit. I've worked with so many artists who just don't have that. They have a chip on their shoulder, or they're afraid of sharing credit or whatever. And I feel like he's given me more credit than I deserve. So
it's amazing, man. So after that moment, it's just on. The whole world sees it. This is it. And then a couple months later, the record comes out.
Yeah,
basically,
much.
Right? And then the tour, and then the world tour, and now it's like Grammy. Now it's like a couple Grammys for it now. Best rock album, best rock performance.
Yeah,
2026 Grammys. That's amazing, dude. And the record's fantastic. There was like 4 singles off it already, right? Emptiness Machine, Heavy as a Crown, Over Each Other, and Two-Face. Yeah, Heavy as a Crown's a banger too, man, dude. And just seeing those songs live in the set list we saw at the Forum, it all works perfectly with all the other stuff too. It's a perfect out. I don't know. It just makes sense.
It's something that we all really love, and
And the response to those songs is almost as big as the other songs. I noticed that too.
Sometimes even more.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is awesome.
Which is just mind blowing to me. Funny thing about it is for me is like I know that the older guys. I say the older guys, the guys from the original band, like Joe and Dave and Mike and Brad, and like they were all so cool headed about the whole thing, but also I could tell that there was a lot of anxiety from them, which understandable. Like this is their legacy, and
yes,
and then they're coming back with a new guard, and then they're like and a new whole thing after 7 years.
7 years.
And then like, are people gonna show up? Like, are we gonna play halfway through the day on a mid-stage festival? Like, and they always had this like
of course.
question, right? And for me, I think I was always like, in my mind, I was like, this is the biggest band in the world, and this is like this is so. When we started playing sold out shows and playing the stadiums and stuff, I just was sort of like, yeah, man, duh, like
Yeah.
obviously.
Were the first shows Mexico, and is that the first couple of shows in Mexico? Is that the first tour in January?
For this year.
For this year, yeah, this year.
In 2025.
What were the first shows after the live stream and the record came out?
The first shows were New York. Oh, sorry, L.A., New York, Hamburg, Germany, London, and then Seoul, South Korea.
Wow.
Those are the first 5. It was a lot of travel.
Yeah.
It's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, coming from where you came from, just different traveling for you too.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not in a room with a bunch of people on the floor. You're not in your band sleeping in there. Now it's just a different level of traveling you've never experienced before.
This is true. Yeah.
So that's got to be in itself like exciting and whatever it is.
Oh yeah, man. Of course. I mean, it's and then the more you do it, like I said, the newness of it wears off, and then you realize, oh, actually, this is really the reason for that is because it's very tiring. Yes. Like you kind of almost like to do that. You almost have to have a level of you have to become as comfortable as possible, or else you're not going to sleep and you get sick. And we still get sick.
Of course.
Of course. Even with all that stuff. And I don't like to compare myself to athletes necessarily because it's not like that. But in some way it is.
Absolutely.
It's a physical job, and you got to take care of your body because your body is your vessel.
100%, man. Right. People don't realize that, and traveling and just flying is not always the best for you either. Flying's kind of
flying.
Early
no matter how you
wake-ups.
fly, by the way.
Exactly, dude.
Like just being up in an airplane for hours. And the other day we did a show. We were in Brazil. We were hubbing in Sao Paulo, which for those who don't know is like we stay in a hotel in a city that we're going to be at for a while. And then if we have extra shows that are outside of the city, sometimes we'll just fly from the city to the show and then back. And so like the other night, we did one that was like we were in Sao Paulo, and then it's an hour and a half to the airport, drive, fly to the show, do the show, and I think it was like a 12-hour day, like from door to door. Plus, you leave at 2:30, so you've been up for a while. So it was like a 16 or 17-hour day. So like it's a long day.
It's a long day
for anybody,
even if you're flying or not. Yeah. So after the show, you guys might get in the plane and fly back to the hub spot.
I mean, we don't do that every time, obviously, but sometimes that's just an example though of like where people will be like, oh, you guys, it must be so comfortable and so cush and everything. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's for sure, but also doing that thing and then not being
exhausting, dude.
Yeah, like if you're do that over and over again, like you have to be comfortable somehow, or else you're not going to sleep.
Yeah, my brother does that because he's in the Offspring, and the singer has his own plane.
Your brother's in the Offspring?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for like 15 years. Yeah.
That is crazy.
So
what does he play?
He's bass now, but he was a guitar player.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love that band.
Yeah, so he flies with the singer, has his own
right,
planes.
Doesn't Dexter fly?
Yes. But sometimes my brother says he'd rather go on a bus because it is too tiring and exhausting and flying all the time, and it's just like it's just crazy. Your singer's flying you in the plane.
That is hilarious.
I definitely prefer a bus.
Yeah.
Jason Newsted told me like all the guys in the band would fly, and he was the only one that would take the bus.
Yeah. We've had a version of that this year. Is that all right if I talk about this? The bus thing?
If somebody doesn't want to, I'd rather go on a bus.
No, I think it's like we did do a bus tour in the U.S. This time, and the bus is interesting because it's like you don't sleep super well unless you're used to it.
I love the bunk, dude.
Well, so I do too, but only after I've been used to it.
Okay, yeah.
So like everybody knows this. You get on a tour bus the first 2 nights, and it's hard to sleep, right?
Yeah.
True.
The first 2 nights, and then you get into that pocket, and you get used to the sway of it, and then it's like, and then you love it. But for us, it was hard because, like I said, we can't do 2 nights in a row.
All right.
So what happened is we would do a show, you get on the bus, go overnight to the hotel, and then we have a day off. So then we stay in a hotel. So there was never like it took a lot longer.
It took a lot
longer.
Could be hard. I mean, it can be harder. Those days off, you're like, kind of starting over.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
It's like, oh my God.
Well, some people don't like the hotel compared to the bunk, like the overnight sleep when it shakes you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, but some band members can only sleep when the bus is stopped. So it's different for each person. Then going into a hotel and then back to a bus, it's hard to.
Yeah, that was tricky. I think to just kind of get used to but whatever. I mean, it's just part of it.
Yeah, these aren't bad problems to have.
No.
But the bus and the hotel, I know what you're saying.
Nobody's complaining, but there's some of the band members would prefer to fly.
Right.
Just to kind of it's
just so time consuming to get there early, check in, everything, around a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's draining. It's the worst part.
I think that's the real work of being in a band. It's not the hour or two on stage. That's the fun part. But it's the other hours leading up to that time.
Yeah, nobody ever told me about that so much in
saying?
detail. I was just like, oh my God.
Hydration, eating, sleeping, everything.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Leading up
to
that moment.
My life is passing before me. Just like sitting in an airport like hours.
Because people think it's luxurious. It's not. Just because you're flying doesn't mean that anything like that.
Especially South America is difficult because you got to
early
wake up early in the morning. It's like you're barely sleeping.
5 a.m. wake up calls. Go to bed at 2 a.m.
Oh God!
Find every single show. We're not complaining to the listeners, but that's the travel part that's really draining, especially when you get older. You're young. You're like,
well, dude, I'll tell you what. Who I felt really bad for was Adam over here. And Adam, when you and Lo got to Colombia, I think they flew from LA to Colombia, and what happened? You wound up getting. Yeah, you got to hear this story. This is actually kind of crazy.
Man. Yeah, we were flying into Bogota. This was 3 weeks ago. We were flying into Bogota. The airport got closed for weather. We're circling and circling and circling. So they send us to Cali, Colombia, 25 minutes away. Here's the problem. We're on United. United doesn't fly into Cali. So we sit on the plane once we land for 6 hours on the runway. They're about to take off. They say, no, sorry, we've run out of flight time. Go back to the airport. They can't give us our bag. They finally let us off. They can't give us our bags. We're stuck in the airport for 13 hours. We don't have our luggage. We have nothing. And all Lorenzo, as one of my colleagues, were thinking is like, thank God this isn't like the band. Like, thank God it's us.
Yeah, for sure.
It is in this situation. I didn't have my luggage for 3 days. Like it was. I'm still recovering from
PTSD from it. No, you have any luggage for 3 days?
I didn't have my luggage for 3 days. Finally, they're on stage in Bogota, and I check my air tag, and it's at my hotel. I'm like, finally, I've got it. It's there. But
it's time to go home at that point.
Well, then we fly to wherever we went to the next day, Peru or something.
Yeah,
right. So just kind of.
Adam's pulling up with all Linkin Park gear on, like fresh gear.
Adam's an OG, dude.
You really got some Linkin Park sweats on, socks.
100%, right?
That's the stuff you don't hear about. All that crazy travel, especially now.
Yeah, most people.
Are you a good flyer? Like you get nervous flying at all?
No, I'm good with that.
Can you sleep on planes?
Yes, I can. Fortunately, fortunately, I can if I need to.
It's hard though.
It's hard. I mean, it's.
You guys been everywhere.
It's great to do it though.
For sure.
You get.
By the way, we're not complaining to the listeners once again. We're just talking about traveling.
Not complaining.
But it definitely is a thing.
You guys been in Japan, Indonesia, Europe, everywhere, Mexico, South America.
Is there a favorite country that you love to go to?
See, but then
what's your favorite country?
But then for the other people listening, they're gonna think, "Oh, I don't like where I live." You be careful with these questions.
No, I know what you mean, and I don't think that's
I know what you're saying.
I know.
Come on, man.
I think that's an okay question to say.
Okay, let's go.
I think it's like for different reasons.
Yeah, of course.
So this is like the question when people ask me that, I'm like, are you asking about the show? Or like just the culture, or like just the
general everything, a combination of everything, where you just have a great feeling, like, oh man, I really enjoy being here.
I love Japan, and that's been a thing for me actually for a long time.
Right.
I've been to Japan 6 or 7 or 8 times now,
and
I just love Japan a lot.
It's definitely up
it's
there
not necessarily like the specifically. I'm not saying that the fans or like the show is any better. But just like I love Japanese culture and like the food and the cleanliness and the the people are so friendly and respectful, and that's one of my favorite places. I
hear you.
So many.
It's like that Law and Order. I'm like, wow, that's what it feels like.
It's so efficient. It's so efficient. I love it so much, man.
Yeah.
And I love the fashion. the Harajuku, I may have pronounced that wrong, Harajuku area. There's just cool shopping. There's great food. I have a lot of friends there. Japan's is a great place to be. But
Absolutely.
I mean, other than that, there's some other highlights, like obviously Santiago, Chile, great. Brazil, we love.
What is the most exotic place that you've been I can't believe we're here? People
I think probably Indonesia.
Yeah.
Is the one. I never saw myself ever getting down there. I like to surf, so I'm not very good at it. But
you're surfing around the world? You travel?
We just went surfing in Peru the other day.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
I love to surf. I'm not very good, like I said, but I always thought maybe I'd go down to Indonesia, to try to surf sometime. I never thought I'd be playing a show.
Your son was just down.
Yeah, my son was just there surfing a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And off the coast of Bali, an hour out somewhere. Small island he went to.
He looks like he's a good surfer.
He kills it, man. You guys got to surf together. That'd be amazing.
He looks
dude.
like
two drummers surfing together. Yeah, he kills. He surfs everywhere, dude.
I mean, he's getting ready to go out right now in the rain.
And it's disgusting. You're not supposed to go when it's raining either, man. It's really gross.
Well, hopefully he knows where to go.
Yeah,
he's been.
These are the gross spots.
He's been surfing in shit water his whole life. He's got a tough immune system.
Yeah.
Dude,
if you're gonna, I would definitely suggest Brazil if you want cleaner.
He's trying to get my son to go to Brazil for sure
because it's much cleaner.
Well, I mean, 3 of the best surfers in the world are from.
I
Brazil.
know.
And skateboarders too.
Yeah. I mean, it's really there's cities in Brazil are just geared around that. It's just surf community city. It's just incredible. I'm just saying, if surfing, whenever anyone brings it up, I'm you should go to check out Brazil because it literally cleaner, a lot of places, pro surfers. It's just
there.
It's off the hook. Yeah.
How was the surfing? How'd you do out there?
Peru was awesome. I mean, when I'm on tour, it's kind of just if it's convenient. Actually, I think this might have been the first time I've been surfing while I was on tour. Well, we were staying right next to a surf break.
Perfect.
So we went down there and they had all the rentals stuff. I don't carry a board and wetsuit and stuff with me.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
No, but we it was kind of like Malibu, but way less people. So it was a nice longboard break. It was super fun.
Was the water cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was similar to California.
Okay.
Kind of hazy and really big, rolling kind of waves. It was fun.
What the sharks are out there?
I didn't see any.
In Peru, I don't know.
What this crazy sharks there is in Cali, man, out there in Brazil.
Definitely in Brazil, in the certain area northeast of Brazil, it's mad sharks. It's
I'm
no joking
shark. I'm not good with the ocean with that stuff.
But not the southern part of Brazil.
I mean,
but in the northeast of Brazil.
Where would you like to go play next? What's the dream place for you to go play?
Yeah, what's that place be?
That's a good question. Singapore.
Okay.
I've heard was really cool.
Amazing.
Let me see. Ireland. Love to go to Ireland.
Oh yeah, you definitely go there for sure.
All the
Ireland's
there.
great.
That's one of the best places for sure.
And honestly, I know that this is probably not going to happen for a while, but Russia, I've always heard was really
sick.
tight.
It's amazing.
I've never played there.
Absolutely, one of the top 5.
One of my favorite shows you ever played was in Russia, dude. We can never,
for sure.
Can't go back there now, but back then it was sick, dude.
Amazing.
Yeah. So some of those places, I think, and then obviously I'd love to South America, dude. That's so great. We just got back.
You love that shit.
We just got back, but I'm I just can't wait to.
What about
to
a
go back.
band to play with Linkin Park? It's a band you like to play with. You think that Linkin Park would tour with? And Linkin Park doesn't have to tour with anybody first and foremost, but a band, a package, I wonder what it could be.
Yeah,
we package. There's an artist that is going to be playing with us that I'm real excited about. And I'm
next year.
Anything. Next year.
All right, cool.
Trying to think. We've played with some really great ones actually this year.
Sure.
We've done really, really cool. Spirit Box was awesome.
Okay, yeah, I saw it.
My friends One OK Rock, great rock band, man. Holy shit, they were super fun. Poppy was great. We played with Gene Dawson. There's a band called Paris that we did a bunch of shows with early on in the U.S. tour this year, and they were
They're called Paris?
They're called Paris. Yeah,
where are they from?
PVRIS. And were they from Massachusetts?
That's cool.
And they were I wasn't super familiar with them, but man, they were good. And so we've played with some really great people.
What about Linkin Park Sepultura tour?
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah, Sepultura. There we go. Who should I talk to?
I don't want to mention that, but we can talk. After
I wonder
the
if like
pod.
Linkin Park fans would get down with Sepultura. Maybe too. Is it too crazy for them?
We'd have to change the set list a bit. I mean, we'd have to find some songs that people could vibe with.
Don't do that. Be yourself, man.
That'd be kind of hard though. Sepultura and Linkin Park.
Just
two different kind of worlds, but same world.
I think it's great when you gear bands up with that. It's like challenging.
Totally.
That you play in front of people that are just not really don't know anything about you.
I love that.
I think that's, for me, is really gets me super focused in the show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just really pulls me in.
It makes you work, and you got to work for it. Yeah.
And I love that, and I love when you have a great opener that just kill it.
Yes.
And I think that's
it really adds
I love
to the
that.
show. I
Yes.
think it really adds to the show. Some bands are I feel like try to kind of there's like the whole like cliche of turning the PA down for
it's a true story.
It's
It's facts.
right.
Yeah.
We don't ever do that. That's for sure. It's all part of the package. You know what I mean? Like if you can't go out there and just kill it yourself, then what are you even doing? You know what I mean? Like you don't need to cut somebody else's legs.
Two things.
Right.
Two things come to mind. One is that I was talking to Aaron from Under Oath. They were playing first on the Papa Roach tour. It was them, then Rise Against, then Papa Roach.
Okay.
And they loved playing first, and it was a whole new audience every night in 2025 for them. They loved that challenge. And it was cool to see them play. I watched them play.
To be on the reverse end.
Even Rise Against are huge, but it's still a bigger audience. And then also, I was on a tour. I don't want to say the names, but there was a band that played after us, and they wouldn't turn down. They got kicked off the tour. This is in the 90s, though.
Boo.
Yeah.
Or
I'll tell you off the podcast.
Or they'll turn the subs down or something, and
bullshit.
It's like come on,
this part of the desk you can use. This part you cannot.
But it's also
don't even look at it.
But if you pick that band, you know who you picked and how they sound and what
I would think so.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would.
Why are you surprised that they sound like that? Or I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I would just think that every band would want to have a band that just kicks ass.
Totally.
It's just like, wow.
What's a band Linkin Park could open for? I mean, Metallica. I'm trying to think of bands because Linkin Park is so big to me. You know what I'm saying? Like. Maybe Metallica, I guess. Yeah, we're just talking crap. Right? It'd be kind of sick, though. But that'd be a hard audience, too. Probably not. I feel like Linkin Park could play with anybody.
I have a question that's been eating me. It's like, is there like...
eating you alive?
It's eating me.
Go.
It's like, what producer do you like hold and you're like, oh my God, this is an amazing
Great
producer.
question.
I would love to work with them, or I'd love to pick their brain, or like, who have been like your major producer?
I think that Rick Rubin is. By the way, Rick Rubin has been. So he put out his book, and I know he was doing a lot of podcasting.
Yes.
So like he became kind of a household name
by
the internet the last couple of years. I've been a Rick Rubin fan since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those Chili Peppers records, they always sound so great.
Mm-hmm.
His whole version of his sort of like shaman, where his ice baths and whatever, like his whole version of how to create. And I've been able to learn because Linkin Park did 3 albums with him.
That's awesome.
And so I've been able to like learn a lot about his process just by hanging out with the guys. And that's been invaluable information.
I'm sure.
So I'm a big fan of Rick. Don Was. I think some of the newer guys that I think are really great. I think Andrew Watt is really, really super talented, special.
What has he done that we might know?
Yeah.
He's done a lot of the Juice WRLD, a lot of
sick. Hip hop.
But he rock and roll guy. So Justin Bieber. He did the new Rolling Stones.
Damn.
Some Ozzy stuff. What was that? Pearl Jam. So he's like a real rock and roller. I think his stuff always sounds great. Even his pop stuff always has a lot of a really interesting, like organic sort of vibe to it. There's probably a lot of people I'm missing.
You heard of Howard Benson?
Of course, I know Howard. Yeah, Howard's great.
The homie.
He did one of our albums.
Shout out to Howard.
Did the Hazen Street album. It was like so another level working with him.
The Sepultura album, first one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't even. He started working with Sepultura when
before he
Pro
blew up.
Tools was just like starting. He was like, let me check into this Pro
I didn't know
Tools
that.
stuff.
That's interesting.
Damn.
Like he was working on that because we had a split with him where it was like analog, and he was working on Pro Tools, like just
That's crazy.
discovering it. Like, interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, Yeah, man, it's a lot quicker. I like this, especially like vocals. It's like, yeah, let's bring, I mean, the process of recording just took so much longer.
Sure.
And, but it was really interesting seeing him go like learn that, and
Yeah.
I mean, Howard's been.
Oh,
doing
geez.
this
I
since
also
OG.
I also think of there's some other producers too that like people don't even really like talk as much about,
Okay.
like Jeff Basker, for example, Butch Walker,
Butch Walker, legend, yeah.
Jeff Basker, one of my all-time favorites. He got big with Kanye West on like the Blinding Lights era, like or not Blinding Lights, sorry,
All the
dark,
lights,
beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy
Yeah.
era.
Okay.
Rex Kudo, who is a younger guy, did a lot of the Kid Cudi stuff. The
Nice.
Weeknd. There's this guy Circuit. I don't know if you know him.
Mm-mm.
He's probably the biggest pop producer now. Just
Okay.
super Canadian guy, younger fella, just so talented. So
Mhm.
there's just some really great producers. This guy,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, John Bellion, who I work with sometimes, is out of New York. Great writer, singer, producer. There's so many.
There's so many. And the guy produced the Turnstile record, too. I think he's
Oh.
from, like,
Mike
East-
Elizondo.
yes, from the East Coast, maybe?
Mike Elizondo's a West Coast guy.
But there was
and
another guy. I forgot his name. He did some hip-hop stuff, and he did the Glow On record.
That's Mike Elizondo.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, Mike,
Okay.
thanks for reminding me. One of my favorites
Okay.
all time. Did 50 Cent in the club.
He did?
With Dr. Dre.
Wow.
Yeah, he was Dr.
Sick.
Dre's guy for a long time.
No way. That's sick. I know
And
that.
so Mike Elizondo actually came in and helped us with Heavy's the Crown.
Dude, didn't know that.
and
That's cool.
helped us with this other one that never came out. And then what was another one? He did one more. I want to say this song called Overflow. I think was that Mike? He did one more. I think it might have been Overflow. Maybe. Anyway,
That's cool.
he was great. And if you listen to Heavy's the Crown, he's a bass player. Comes from that hip hop world. If you listen, to the bass part on the verses of Heavy as the Crown, it's sound, and you just listen to the bass part. It's pouring in, lay it on the floor again, dun 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 the door, and then
Yeah.
and then doom doom doom, doom doom doom. It's like a Dr. Dre sounding
That's sick.
bass line,
That's
and
cool.
he had this little MIDI keyboard, and like watched him just kind of like hammer that out like just on his keyboard. And then of course Dave, our bass player, did a great job of like recreating it and doing his own thing to it. But the initial idea was Mike coming in with this like Dr. Dre bounce, because
That's cool, man.
it's like this real like fast hip hop vibe. And I was like, that was the only day in the studio I felt like I was actually kind of nervous.
Wow.
I was just so in awe that I was sitting there next to Mike Elizondo.
So he's been around for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, he's been
This
around.
all makes sense with the sound of some of the stuff on the Turnstile record. Now thinking about it,
Totally.
The hip-hop
I think
influence.
he was probably annoyed with me because I kept asking him all these stories. And of course, I was just like, I'm trying not to fanboy out right now, but I just love his style. Also, his energy is just such a like collaborative energy. He's not like a writer that like comes in and just like, all right, guys, here's my idea. Like,
Okay. That was
very
gonna
dominant
ask-
with the idea having to be his idea. He's just such a producer's producer.
Yeah.
Where he comes in and just like, all right, what do you guys got? And just makes everybody feel, just lowers the
Mm-hmm.
pressure in the room a lot.
I'm sure you love like Timberland and Pharrell producing.
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
I mean,
Dre, obviously.
for Pharrell Williams, obviously legend. I mean, there's so many guys that I'm not mentioning right now.
Interesting, because I'm always curious about producers and like your approach. Are you usually like writing stuff with the band, or are you hearing demos and then of the band, and then you're like, all right, I have some ideas, some notes?
Sure.
It just depends, I guess.
It depends. I felt like I learned from the greatest, like my mentors, this guy Kato Kandawala, who actually, talking about Haley Williams, was actually the lead engineer on Riot, the Riot album.
Wow.
So that was my mentor.
Gotcha.
And I learned from like the traditional school of like letting the artist bring in the music. I started songwriting a lot more when I worked for John Feldman, because that's his way of doing it. Is he's like he likes to write a lot.
For sure.
And then
He's a genius too, man.
yeah, so I learned from both of those schools of thought, and I like joked about it for a long time. I was like, I learned to be a better songwriter so I could then produce the records, because a lot of times artists would come in, like when I started producing, we were in the age of like co-writing a lot.
Yeah.
And so bands would come in like with no song to like go in with a group of writers or producers to like come up with a song.
Interesting.
And so that I learned to do that, to exist in that world so I could then produce the stuff. And I was always sort of like, okay, well, I'll write the song, and then like, okay, now that we're working more together, let's see what you have and let me like refine that.
Yeah.
You know? So I come from two schools of thought, and to answer your question, it just depends on what it is. I feel like these days it's more like co-writing.
Okay.
But I still come from that idea. Like, I'm just as happy if somebody comes in with a banging song. I mean, they're hard to write. It's hard to write.
Right.
But like, if you come in with a great idea, sort of putting in the right people. Okay, like this hook isn't right, but I feel like if we need an energy change, I have a black book of my favorite songwriters who I can hopefully bring in to help us write. Like the song that you came in on Brain Dead for Papa Roach.
Yes.
That was my
friend.
One
on Billboard 2 weeks in a row.
Let's
sorry,
go.
I'd say that. Sorry.
No, that was my friend Lil Aaron who came in to help us write the top line of that. And so it's kind of cool. It's like an alchemy. I feel like the best producers are willing to step aside and almost like put together a good room.
Yeah, I agree.
Know when to, for example, like, okay, I've been working with Papa Roach for a long time. So a good example is of how to switch the energy up. I always try to keep things fresh. So I have a studio at my house, behind my house, in my guest house. And when Papa Roach came in, my wife and my kids were like out of town that weekend. And so I had my engineers like basically not tear down, but like take out my speakers and take out a few little things of the studio. And I moved it into my living room.
Oh, wow.
To write that, because I was like, we've got a bunch of people in, and I think we've done enough music in this space, so let's go change it up.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's
keep
great.
It fresh.
So like always thinking about it in like kind of an ethereal sort of way, and rather than like, we got to get the song, nobody gets a good song that way.
Would you consider Phineas a producer too?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, they're making songs in the bedroom, man. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Like
I feel like that was a big game changer.
Yeah. I mean, he's made some amazing songs, got great taste. All it comes down to is good taste.
But just like where they recorded it too, just that easy, like in a room, like in their bedroom or something.
And the atmosphere is super important.
Yeah,
I think,
for sure.
Especially as an artist, you want to feel in a comfortable space and feel, I don't know, it can bring like enlightenment.
I feel like the best, some of the biggest songs I've ever made have been in the weirdest, like most shoestring together, like my living room. Like,
for sure.
Like it's. I feel like some of the biggest songs I've ever made have been, writing in a house somewhere. Yeah. In France. Like or whatever. Like you rent a little Airbnb and bring your laptop out. And I've been to Australia a few times, and I worked with this band called Trophy Eyes a few years ago, and we like just rented a house in Bondi Beach and set up in the kitchen just like you are right now with a laptop, cool. And and then of course okay, we need to record drums. Like I don't have $1 million for the mic, so let's go to the studio and cut the drums or whatever it is. So it doesn't really matter.
But just recording that at your house and then hearing that song on the radio that I did in like your backyard in your studio, it's crazy. Just it sounded great.
Yeah, I mean it's technology is amazing, and that's one really great thing. I've watched like this guy Fred again. I don't know if you know Fred again, producer, a British guy. Mm-hmm. And he's worked with Ed Sheeran. He's a huge artist, by the way, like of himself. But he would he like takes his laptop on like trains and shit, and like just samples like people's conversations, and then manipulates it or whatever he's hearing. And he's kind of known for like going and playing on a rooftop and just jamming with random people. And you can check him out. He's cool. He's got a really cool tiny desk performance.
Oh, he does?
Is cool. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh, do Linkin Park and Tiny Desk. That'd be sick.
I'm sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gotta happen. Yeah. He knows. He might have some secrets.
Adam knows.
That'd be pretty amazing, though.
I would expect that to happen.
I have a question for. Hey, Moon, Mama, you're too loud, babe. I have to edit this part. I love you, babe. Can you keep Adam the mic? I have a question for Adam. How long have you been with the Linkin Park camp again? And what is your position, sir?
I started with them 18 years ago, fresh out of college.
So he's the president.
So, yeah, right.
You start with them at the label?
No. They had a company called Machine Shop that ran all of their business. They had a nonprofit. They had a fan club, a record label,
dude.
all this stuff. Just their band's business, and I was the assistant to the girl who ran everything for them. And I worked my way up, left for a little bit, worked at the labels for a while, and then they called me a year and a half ago and said, "We're coming back. Do you want to come back?" And I said, yes. So I was like, I started out doing digital marketing for them. So like, I started their Facebook page, their Instagram, their Twitter, all that kind of stuff.
All that stuff. And
MySpace page.
And you run it too?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Now I'm a little more high level with, but it's a team effort. It's a team effort.
So now you're with the team, not with the label, just with the Linkin Park.
Yeah. My boss is Mike Shinoda and Colin
Wow.
Brittain.
And what's your job title now?
We don't really have job titles.
Okay.
They didn't even tell me what my job description was when I came back.
Okay.
They just said, "Do you want to come back?"
That's
and I
amazing.
said yes.
I love that.
Market king.
But that says a lot about like you. This says a lot about them and the relationships and friendships and loyalty and all that stuff. It's awesome, man. I feel like you're in good hands. You're in a good world right now.
It's a unique unicorn of a situation, that's for sure.
And what's up next? Would there be new music next year? Is there more of this world tour for this album continuing?
Yeah. We're going next. We're obviously like all next year. We have not all next year. Up until the end of the summer, we have a tour planned. And then after that, you'll have to see. Things are good though. Everybody's vibing well. Yeah,
so everybody's really happy with the response for the record. Obviously, there was like hit singles. This record did really well, and show has been amazing. And
it's just good energy all around.
Yeah,
we're having a great time. So I can't tell you exactly what's going on, but it's definitely it feels good.
Are you still producing?
Yeah, I mean, well. Yes and no. I haven't had a ton of time, to be honest.
I was going to say, yeah.
I've worked on a few records. There's my friend's band. We talked about it, Story of the Year.
Yes, man.
I've heard of that.
New record's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, the new record's coming out that I sort of executive produced. There's a few other things. There's a few other things that we've been working on, but it's taken me out of the loop a lot. I mean, we travel a lot. It's hard to really dive in too much, and I call it the big wheel. Like it's producing is like constantly have 8 things in the fire at the same time, and so I've had to kill a lot of those things. But I still get in there, get your hands dirty a little bit.
Yeah, but you got a family, and you're trying to balance that and touring.
Sure, of course. Yeah,
staying healthy and like all that stuff.
Yeah, I think producing is so cool. I'm like, I admire.
Maybe we should do that next, man.
I think there's a lot to learn, which is great. I mean, I love to learn new things, but I think it's always great, especially when you have a producer who's an artist who can play instruments.
Sure.
And it adds so much to whatever it is that you could be working on, just to hear their insight and ideas. But I mean, I think it would be so cool just to be able to like throw things down. Like back in the day, I had like an old like 4-track with like tape and stuff, and I'm like, things have advanced so much. It's just incredible what they have now.
It's a lot more accessible for everybody.
And I think I just really need to like sit and learn the basics of like, because there's so many like ideas and things. I'm like, damn, I wish I could just send this idea to whoever, I think would be great for, or get ideas and work on it relatively easily, by myself or whatever. But I just admire the fact that you can do any of those things and have something that sounds incredible, like in your own house. You're like, okay, I got an idea. I'm going to play all the instruments to see how, that's so badass.
You can kind of feel like that. It's like I said, they've made it so easy to where you can. That's why there's so many producers out there now.
There's a lot of producers now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean it's beat making but again, you go back to what we were talking about with Rick Rubin, for example.
Yeah.
And some of these old school guys. The thing that's great about them is because they understand the nexus of actually what producing is. It's not about being able to record well or play instruments or any of this stuff. It's about relationships with people.
Absolutely.
And I think
that chemistry,
that is something that is entirely different than the technical aspect of like beat making and or like getting it into the computer and stuff. Because if you really think about it, eventually AI is going to get to a point to where we can just plug in a little cable to your brain, and then just the computer is gonna just whatever song is in your brain. Like I always thought that, like for a long time, I was like, if I could just take this idea out of my brain and just hear it back, and and so like really what it is it's a medium, right? And so whoever is the most skilled at manipulating this medium between whoever's idea it is and coming out of the speakers, that's quote unquote producing, and that's actually not what that's only half of it.
Right.
I
agree.
You know, it's the human connection of like, hey, let's talk about this. There's a story about Rick Rubin that I always think about where he was sitting there, I think with Serge from System of a Down. He couldn't come up with a bridge lyric or something, and so they're like sitting in his library, and he like pulled out a book off the shelf, and he's like, open that book, and the first thing that jumps out to you, like, let's write that. So he opens the book, and it was like the Odyssey or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, Father, why have you forsaken me? Why in your arms forsaken me?
Wow.
So like Rick's like, that's his MO, is like, okay, let's just clear the slate, and knowing how to direct people into the most creative ways. And I feel like that's such a lost art form. Maybe not lost, but
no, I agree 100%.
That's amazing, actually.
I
Or
think
like
that
how
is
Howard,
the magical.
Howard, you talk about Howard, like he understands that stuff. Like
totally. 100%. He's coming from like that old school of like really talking to the artists and really trying to have that understanding of where they're coming from, you know, and being able to pull something out of the artist that artist may not have realized, I think is the magic part of having a great producer. I mean, we've had so many great producers, but there's a few that like really stick out to me, that their ability to pull out things that I never imagined I had in myself, you know, which is something that's unique and very rare. Like you're saying, it's something you can never get with AI or a robot or anything. It's no. You know, and that experience that producer may have, you know, and to go into depth of your soul and just like really pull those things out is something that creates like a moment in the studio. Like, wow, you know, it's just like you start looking at each other like, did this just happen?
Absolutely. And by the way, like that's one of the things that the reason I was so excited about working with Mike Shinoda in the beginning was because of my admiration for the production and the way of, you know, you were talking earlier about the lyrics that Chester would sing and these things.
Yes.
So like his ability to sort of like lack of commercialism and being pure to the art form and staying true to that the entire process, it's really fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
And everybody in the band is so good at that, about like, you know, if you really want to like get under somebody's skin, you talk about like, okay, how can we sell more of the XYZ? Like that's just not what this is about.
Right.
You know, that, and so many people, big artists, little artists, like that's what's in the back of their mind. They may not say it
100%.
That's in the back of their mind of like, it's a lack of abundance, right? It's a scarcity mindset, you know, and it's understandable, like, cause it's tough world. Shit's expensive. You know, dog food's expensive. But like, you know, you somehow being disciplined enough to, when you're in this mode, to really not consider any of those things and do that over and over and over again. It's admirable. And it's made me a better creative, a better artist. You know, Joe and Dave, really everybody's like, you got to get used to saying like us. And, you know, like they've really encouraged me to do that. And no, you're an artist now. Like this is no longer a scarcity mindset. And I've always tried to operate with abundance and be generous and be like, but you know, like I said, I'm human too. So it's hard to always do that, you know?
Sure.
So I think it's important. And that's one of the reasons that they've been so successful for so long.
So we can officially say you're the drummer from Linkin Park, which is great.
I suppose so. a year and a half into it now.
Definitely.
It's amazing though, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the last couple of questions for you. What was the last real job you had where you like had a boss and stuff, had to clock in?
Oh man. Does it count working for another producer?
No, that's
not what you're talking about. You're talking about like because I mean
that's a real job.
That is a real job.
But like, what about a job like before? Like
a non-music job. I think probably like I used to work at restaurants, like bartending and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
my wife Moon. Hi, Mama. Go.
Hello. It was It was hard to. I was always playing music and stuff, and
Yeah.
so I always had like restaurant jobs
Yeah.
to. I would teach drum lessons and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
I was always
That's
kind of like a gigging kind of person, and like a restaurant job was like the most close to like a gig because you could, if you needed, you know what I mean? Because like you could, it wasn't a 9 to 5. It was sort of like
come and go as you please, kind of.
Well, it was like, okay, if I have a gig or if I have something I need to do, like I
Yeah.
can just have somebody else pick up my shift,
True.
sort of thing. So probably something like that, like a bartending job.
Yeah.
But long before our band got signed, I was playing cover gigs. I play drums with my feet, play guitar and sing, and like play
Wow.
weddings, and I was gigging all over the place. I'd play drums for some people, I'd go play guitar for something else. So I did a lot of like 4 times a week. I'd play like bars and restaurants and stuff, like an acoustic guitar and sing. You've seen people who do that.
So you can play every instrument pretty much.
Some better than
Piano?
others. Yes, but not as well as I wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty proficient on a guitar and on a bass and mandolin
And sing too, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And now I'm sitting here with 2 professional singers, so
I doubt pro, but you recorded stuff you're singing too?
yeah, sure.
That's cool.
So yeah, but I was doing that. That was like my job for a long time. But I mean, I haven't had like a restaurant job or something where it was like something I didn't really want to be doing that was needed to pay the bills since I was like probably 22.
Damn.
So
It's amazing.
yeah,
Man.
I've been pretty much music full steam ahead for a long time.
That's awesome.
What are some of your daily rituals?
When I'm at home, my gym, and like a sauna, and I got a little cold plunge behind my house just to
Nice.
remind myself that the life can suck sometimes.
Same, bro. It's the best. Dude.
So, but yeah, like the working out, and I think, and I have 2 kids, 2 little kids.
Yeah,
So, I really try to spend, a few minutes a day talking to each one of them.
Of course. How old are they?
I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old,
Perfect.
right in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah.
Boys or girls?
I have a 4-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter.
Nice.
Yeah,
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
They're
Damn,
the
wish I had
best.
a
Older
daughter
sister.
too, man.
Yeah.
they're the best.
Wish I was,
Oh yeah.
wish I had a son and daughter.
It's
My
your
son's great. I'm gonna
50s are
say-
like, geez, it would be great to have a new kid.
You?
No.
Oh.
It's like I'm 50s, man.
Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have a son, 16. Yeah.
So you're in the thick of it too.
Yeah. I mean, God.
He's just like,
Well, I mean, he lives in another
In
country.
the country, man.
is he in Brazil?
No,
Is he?
he lives in Czech Republic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
He's in the thick of it, but not, yeah.
Yeah.
What about, are you sober?
I wouldn't say I'm sober, but I'm not a heavy drinker at all. I
Never
talked
really
about
was?
that a lot. No, I tried.
Try to
Boy-
be a heavy drinker?
Boy, did I try.
You
Yeah.
tried to party? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 18, you live in a house with your bandmates, and
Yeah,
a couple of them are older, or one of, and
Mhm.
I did the best I could, but it was not for me. I actually, like, for a long time, barely drank at all, like for probably 8 years, like barely ever, and because it doesn't help you in the studio at all. Helped me.
No.
Not at all.
And being hungover is like the worst thing ever. I think now, the only time I really ever drink is when my lady and I go out to, for sushi or something.
That's nice. Yeah, man.
And then, sometimes like on tour now, I'll have a little wine after a show or something to wind down. But yeah, I'm pretty,
Chill.
yeah,
That's
it's just
good.
not for me.
Yeah.
It's just not the thing. There's some people just love alcohol. Drugs have, drugs is
Well,
like,
lucky you. I mean,
That's
you're good.
drugs is like that. That's just not a thing for me either.
Right.
It's just, you know what it is? It's just like, it's never really helped my clarity. It's never helped my productivity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You seem to even focus most of your life on what you wanted to do and music and all that stuff. And
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And being hungover or like seeking, but I see and I have a lot of empathy for people who have struggled with that. And,
Sure.
and a lot of my friends are sober. A lot of my friends
Same.
have gone through the program or like
Yep.
have, or like you who've like really never, I'm assuming never really
never tried
been
nothing. Yeah.
a part of it. And, that just seems to be a better mode, but I don't, people are like, are you sober? I'm like, I don't really drink, or sometimes people are like, do you want to drink something? I'm like, I'm good. And they're like, they assume that I'm like sober.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to disrespect
You're
people.
just like an
I want
adult with control.
I just don't want to. I don't want to disrespect people.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I think it's admirable.
I don't want to be like disrespectful and be like, "Yes, I'm sober," and then they'll see me, 2 weeks later with a glass of wine or something.
No,
wait, I thought that's.
You could be like, I'm an adult and I'm able to control my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the latest obsession for you?
Latest obsession for me. Jeez, what would it be?
Are you like a binge watcher of TV shows and stuff? like
I'm not. I'm actually like prefer reading more.
That's
that
nice.
sounds like such a like.
No, that's actually better
thing,
for you. Reading, doing watching TV.
Yeah, books are incredible.
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing because I can do it kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I do it on my phone too, which is not good for your eyesight apparently. But like I like to read a lot of like junk science fiction novels. That's like my thing.
Yeah.
Derek's a science fiction nerd.
I love sci-fi.
Do you like Sin Liu? You know the Chinese author?
No.
So Three Body Problem. Are you familiar with that?
I am
Three
not.
Body
Now
Problem.
he is.
Three Body Problem, dude. It's if you like science
Okay.
fiction, it's a
I'm gonna
crazy.
take
I think
note
it's a
of that.
Netflix show too. It is. A
Oh,
Netflix
really?
show.
Okay.
But it's that guy is just Chinese author Sin Liu. If you like science fiction, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
It's like crazy.
Thanks.
What about your
Check it
social
out.
media intake? You on social media a lot?
Probably too much. I try to like limit the doom scrolling a lot.
Mhm.
The thing about social media that's interesting is that I feel like your algorithm is so like tailored to you.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of junk
Right.
that I think of as junk.
Yeah.
Right.
On there. I'm sure that it's 20% junk probably. That just entertainment. but like I think it's a lot of it's tailored to whatever my interest is.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes I feel like I've actually learned a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Or had a lot of experiences with people that I've,
It's true.
But yeah, I try not to. I really do try to like not do the doom scrolling.
It's hard. It definitely is catered
So
to you.
hard.
It's like really catered to you.
It's
Like,
hard,
ooh,
man.
like
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Some of the guys in the band, like Dave, is like pretty much off social media, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
just like it's so great to,
I'm
Like
so
that.
jealous of that, man.
I'm really jealous. Tell you what I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of people who can do it responsibly.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do that?
Or just hop on, do a post, and hop off and look at the comments and just keep it
Unbelievable.
moving, dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of people don't do that. Just get on and off, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least I'm definitely I'm not doing it if I'm around people. I'm not on my phone at all.
Yeah.
Ever. If
Yeah, you're
I'm
good with
hanging
that.
out.
You're good with that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my generation. That's harder. If you're bored.
Oh, that's right. He's younger than us. Wait,
Well,
Right,
no, I
right,
mean
right,
it is.
right.
It is. It's hard. It's hard. 'Cause, if you're sitting there and you're just like, if you're bored. Like I was at this little school function for my son last night. And there's like a magic show going on for the kids, and it's like me and my wife are sitting there, whatever. Like, and nobody's really talking to you. You don't really have a lot of engagement. You're just sitting there watching this magic show for 5-year-olds, and you're just like, I'm gonna pick up my phone, and I said, like, no, you're here.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's
You're
a
in the moment.
it's a struggle. Sometimes I go back and
We're all
forth.
addicted to it.
It's
crazy.
real. It's for real.
They tailored that shit.
Yeah, it's
They tailored that shit to be as addictive as possible.
It's like I guess I've heard it's like crack. It's
Just a dopamine.
like stronger.
Yeah.
Well, I think Steve Jobs, there was a quote, maybe he said that he wanted to create the extension of the human body in some sense, which he did. And like we're all just connected to this thing.
He did it.
First thing you look at when you
Mission
wake up,
accomplished.
dude.
Yeah.
Last thing you look at, first
And he
thing you
doesn't
look
have
at.
his kids use it.
Really?
The thing is I think that you talk about discipline and routines and
Yes.
stuff, and tour really disrupts that a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? I'm much healthier off the road, I guess, just like in general, because
You're busy with everything. Yeah, it's a good
you
point, man.
can have structure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like when I'm
You're
at
right.
home, I'm like at the gym. So on tour, you're like, I don't want to go to the gym. I'm tired and I'm sore or whatever it is, and so social media is the same thing. Like, okay, don't be on social media 45 minutes before you sleep.
Right.
First thing in the morning,
Yeah.
when you wake up, the tendency is to like look at your phone,
Yeah.
right? So like, don't do that until you
It's
wake
hard.
up,
Yeah.
till you're vertical, drink some water,
Right.
kiss your kids.
Yeah.
It's hard because you pick up
I
you're in
try
bed,
to-
right? You look at it,
yeah.
check you missed something, check
I
whatever.
definitely try my hardest not to to give that space. I'm like, I'm gonna get up, have a coffee, make a coffee, just breathe.
Oh, you know what? Going back to the thing, I'll tell you what, one routine that I have every morning, this is non-negotiable, and I started doing this years ago, and I can't imagine not doing this, but drinking 32 ounces of water first thing you do.
Wow.
Like first thing you do before you drink coffee, before you drink anything else, is 32 ounces of water. Because it's the only time in the day. I'm not good about just chugging water all day.
Yeah.
Right.
But like first thing you do, if you can just do that, like I highly recommend that to everybody, by the way.
Try that actually.
Tons of energy, like right away. You feel amazing. And then the rest of the day, you know, you're just hot. You're filled up.
Totally. They also say wait 45 minutes before you have your first cup of coffee too.
Yeah, but that's true. And if you hydrate
before that,
that's so much better.
You ever do grounding?
I have like sand outside of my. I replaced my backyard with sand.
Okay.
Like beach sand.
Nice.
So I can do that.
And you do grounding?
No, sir.
I'm surprised you don't.
I don't.
Okay. Sorry for asking.
Barefoot in the grass.
It's a concept that I just thought was.
It's just your
thinking
connection.
about it. It's like
What's like connection to the earth? Connection to the earth. You know
that I completely understand.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a different podcast. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. That is a cool thing. It's not something I do like every day, but it is definitely you know, like okay, when we were in we all got sick over the summer in Europe, and like respiratory, you know, whatever, like all of us kind of ran through everybody, and I was getting over this pretty gnarly like sinus upper respiratory thing, and I was kind of over it, but I still had like a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to Poland, and we were on the Baltic Sea, like right on the ocean, the hotel. And I was still feeling just like, I'm like almost over, but I'm still got gunk coming out, you know. And me and Dave and Mark Fiore just went out freezing cold water and just dove in the sea, in the ocean. There was a beach right there, and we just like went down there and just got in the water and swam around for a minute. You know, it's 50-degree water. It's freezing cold.
Ultimate cold plunge, yeah.
Yeah. And got out, and I swear to dude, like the next day, 100% better.
Wow.
Nice.
It knocked out.
That's really crazy, man. Yeah.
So I was like, there's something about it.
Yeah, because I'm always told like only go in the sauna when you have a cold, not going to the cold plunge. I don't know why I've been told that from.
Well, I think that's probably true.
But
like,
for you, it just worked. That's amazing, man.
I think it was. I don't think it was the cold. I think it was like the salt and the just the natural
the salt,
whatever whatever's in the nature. I
that's
mean,
pretty amazing, actually.
You know, I'm going to Argentina. We have one more show tomorrow in Mexico City.
Oh, shoot, tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Dude,
yeah.
Thank you for being here, man.
Of course, I wanted to do this.
Then Argentina.
So I'm going to Mexico, and then that's the last show of the year, and then everybody else is flying back, and then I'm going straight from there to Buenos Aires again with my dad.
Nice.
We're going up to Patagonia to go fishing for a week.
Patagonia, beautiful.
Yeah,
dude, that's amazing, man.
And I'm just so looking forward to that. Just like the river,
it's gonna be amazing.
Nature, yeah.
Like it just, there's something about it that we don't understand.
Oh yeah,
sure.
You know,
how old's your dad?
He's about to turn 70.
Nice.
So yeah, this is a good time to go. He's been retired for 2 years, and I told him, I was like, he's the busiest retired person I've ever met.
He's been to Argentina, right?
Yeah, he's done this exact trip before.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, so it seemed to work out. But I'm all that to say, I'm just excited about, you know.
Yeah, and the nature.
That's gonna be nice.
I think it's good for kids too. Did you used to take your kid?
100%.
Did you used to take Max out camping or anything?
No, we're really not a camping family, which is weird, man. We go snowboarding.
I mean, that counts.
Skateboarding, surfing. We do a lot of outside things, travel around the world, whatever. But yeah, like we never really went camping.
I think being outside is like great for kids.
Yeah, Max has always been outside,
kids.
man.
Yeah.
He's never played video games. He's always been doing activities outside.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about that. Like, I mean, dude, our species is, you know, less than 1 million years old. Like, we've definitely developed some kind of a thing with nature that we're no longer, like, all of a sudden, just in the last couple 100 years, all of a sudden, or really even like last 50 years, just everybody's inside playing video games and shit, and it's just like, I mean,
the connection is
especially with technology. I know, dude.
No, but it's definitely, you know, vitalizing, you know, invigorating to be outside and be around nature.
Absolutely,
and
dude.
I think especially for kids, you know, when they're knowledgeable of like the earth that we live on. You know?
Of course.
I mean, it's so significant, you know, those things. I've always been saying like we should have like some type of farming class in school.
Oh yeah,
where you learn to like grow and plants while you're there in the class, and you're doing yourself and working with the soil and seeds, and you know, those things I think kids love, to be outside and to watch it grow. Like, wow, you know, I'm creating this is something that we can all do, and it's not doesn't cost a lot of money, but
Sure.
it's like something that's like very close to the basics of being a human being.
Of course.
Creating food, you know.
Well, you know that those blue zones. I talk about the blue zones, right?
Yes.
It's like the places where people live to be like 100
Right,
years
right,
old or
right.
whatever. And I mean, you know, most of those people are like in their older age are like gardening. They always have a
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah.
Or
But
something.
they're also in motion. It's what they've really figured out, that they're moving
Right.
consistently.
Yeah.
You know, like there's little Italian ladies in those towns that have those steps.
Yeah.
And they're walking all the time up
Right.
and down these steps, or in Japan gardening or
Yeah.
moving.
Being
you know.
sedentary
Right.
is really, and then going back to like the, you know, the alcohol stuff, and I think
Oh, yeah.
or like or you know, partying and all that stuff. It's like that problem with that for me is I think it poisons your body to where you don't want to actually go out and move.
Right.
You know, you just want to sit around the
For
couch.
sure.
I
you
mean,
know.
Toby and I were just talking the other day, like the biggest, I think, aging mechanism, or something that's out there that really ages us the most, is stress.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
100%, like, just, you know, to eliminate that stress is something that these people are living over 100 years, is the big element that they share in common. Mostly is the fact that they live in these non-stressful environments.
true.
Or they're the type of personality, like, I'm gardening, I'm doing my stuff, I'm not stressing about all these different things in my life, my car, my house, my you know, all the materialistic stuff.
And they're not on social media,
And
probably.
they're not
too.
on. They have no idea what social media.
Yeah, well,
Which I think
also,
magnifies everything in the world too.
I mean, you know, I was sitting there in the I used to I've always been like a runner, like where I go out and run a mile or two in the
Love that.
morning. But that was kind of like the only physical activity I did for 10 years probably. Like I wasn't in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I was every day I would just go run 2 miles and I'd be like, cool, get a sweat going, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is more than a lot of people. But then,
Yeah, right.
but you know, when Linkin Park started up, I was like, I got to get in the gym every day because
Yeah.
like I don't want to get hurt, you know, or
Yeah.
like or get winded. And I'm sitting here now 2 years later going, how the fuck did I not have I been living like this? Like I feel so much better. You know,
It's awesome.
working out 5 days a week or whatever.
Yeah,
And not
yeah.
even, not like crazy.
Right.
I'm not like working out
Yeah.
like a boxer or something, but just
Yeah.
like, you know,
Just
just like,
weight training and stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
like 30 minutes to an hour.
Perfect.
And
great.
just like I implore so many people to just do that, because you talk
Yeah.
about like depression and, you know, mental fatigue and stress.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
And,
man.
I mean, try to be like, if you wake up with some gratitude every day.
Yeah.
This I sound like a you know,
No,
entrepreneur bro podcast or
I
something.
agree.
but
I agree on that.
Wake up with some
100%.
gratitude.
No,
I-
for sure.
Definitely feeling that a lot more. You know.
Wake up with some gratitude and go move your body and drink water.
Yeah,
and
man.
then
that's
like
it. Take walks, whatever.
take
Yeah.
walks,
Yeah.
and then try to get some decent sleep. You know, most
Yeah.
nights.
And good food.
It's like not that hard. Like I guess I'm not a doctor, but like it's
Yeah.
not that crazy.
Right.
You know,
It's
those
not.
people who are all that healthy are usually, they just do all those things sort of naturally anyways.
100%, man.
Mm-hmm.
Are you an optimist or pessimist?
Definitely an optimist.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Pessimist. Even if I was a pessimist, like that would just be a shitty way to live, you know?
Sure, man.
And I'll go as far to say is that like I've had people in my life who I love and adore who've almost been like kind of sarcastic and cynical, which I thought was funny for a long time. Because I have a dark sense of humor, and I feel like that, you know, sometimes cynicism is funny, right?
Sure.
Especially if it's not taken too seriously. But I think I have to kind of like limit the amount of interaction I have with that stuff, because sarcasm is adjacent to cynicism, which is adjacent to pessimism.
Mm.
And for me, too much of that is like, okay, it's pick your poison. So
For sure.
just you can't be around that a lot to
Right.
me,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, ultimately it turns into complaining, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
really, what do we have to complain about? So a good example would be like, well, fuck, it's LA. It's like, it's raining. It's so shitty. The drivers are so shitty, and man, this fucking sucks. Like I'm stuck in traffic and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, like, you know what? We're not going to have any fires this year. Also, like, these are desert plants. They need water.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
you know, it's going to be amazingly beautiful for the next 2
Absolutely.
weeks. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Clear everything. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, this is great, actually. Like, this is what the environment needs. This is what I need to change this up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I just try to look at stuff. I mean, this isn't like tooting my own horn. I'm just saying, I try to tell people this, so like maybe it can rub off on 5 or 10 people.
It does
in this
rub off
podcast.
You know, more than you know.
And I tell the guys too, like they're all so positive too. Like everybody in my band is generally very positive, and
It's cool.
But I make it as much as I can.
Right.
Just right before we go on stage, get that rush of crowd, and I just tell people it's like, this shit never gets old, dude.
Yeah,
this is amazing. Holy shit! Yeah. Like, how crazy is it that we get to do this? Yeah, And I just try to be grateful in that way, because I think if you forget that, stress starts creeping in. The next thing, what do we not have? It's a whole thing of abundance. I feel like I've listened to your podcast a bunch, and I've got to know you, and you operate at such a level of abundance, right? And everybody can win, everybody can eat, and that's such a great way to exist. You know what I mean? Even if you don't have much, even if somebody doesn't have much or somebody has a lot, like if you operate with, there's always more.
Sure.
Because there is always more.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And like, those are the people you want to be around. It's not the people who are like,
right.
It's all from misering everything.
Right.
Gatekeeping all the misery.
It's like, it's like the Scrooge thing. From, like nobody likes that guy. He might have a lot of associates, but he doesn't have a lot of friends.
Yeah. It's very lonely in the end. This, that story.
You have any major regrets in your life?
A few, probably, but I try not to think too much about them.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's mostly like probably to dealing with like, man, I wish I had been more present for somebody, or maybe I could have been nicer to my wife at some point, or maybe So I think if you look too far back into that sort of thing, then that's just poisonous for you. So you really have to just go, today is not that day, and I'm moving, I'm not being specific, but like it could be, man, I could have like treated my brother nicer when he really needed it, or been more available or something. But largely, I think I've tried to operate from a place of my heart and take risks based on how I felt like was the best way forward. Like, moving to LA.
Yeah.
And leaving everybody to come out here and chase my dream or do whatever, like I feel like when rubber meets the road, I've been pretty good about, okay, let's try this thing, even if it fails. Yeah. So,
great. You have any regrets, Toby? I never, I'm curious now. I'm like, you ever have any regrets? Man. Mr. Morse?
I don't think, I feel like him, I kind of like,
right.
It's learning things, right? Things I've been through in my life that maybe I could have did it better or didn't, but it wouldn't get me to where I'm at today, I guess. Right. Some things like just life lessons. Mm-hmm. Maybe some things in my music career. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I think like, what if I went to college? Like, what if I never, who knows what happened?
Wow.
And then there's also not regrets. There's also thoughts of like, what if my dad didn't die? And what if my dad was here? Would I have gone to the military? Would I have been forced to do some shit because he was super strict? Is what I can remember a little bit of it. Like, would I not even be in this world of music? That's like what if shit. That's like regret shit. You know what I mean?
But I mean, like things that you've done that you're like, damn.
Maybe like one regret, I could have been a little nicer to my wife when we first met, because I had just been cheated on by a woman, and I was like, fuck women, I ain't gonna be no girls. And then met my wife, and then she had to like really.
Oh my goodness!
This couldn't have come at a better time.
Okay. So maybe I could have been not nicer to my friend, the woman I met named Moon before we got married for 30 years now, which I'm very blessed. She's an amazing human. But maybe I could have played less hard to get in the beginning and maybe not been a jerk, because I just didn't trust women at that moment. You know what I mean?
But is that a regret, or is that a regret, man. Or is that like that was just like, man, like, here's what I think is it would be quantifiable. I got no regrets, man.
Fuck it, go.
I think it was sort of quantifiable as a regret would be like,
okay, here we
man,
go.
I could have, instead of like, could I have treated somebody better or like not done this thing? I feel like regrets, the worst regrets, seems to be like the ones that you didn't do, like inaction, right? Because doing things that are you shouldn't have done. It's usually like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
hear
learned
ya.
something from
I do.
maybe something that you shouldn't have done, but regret.
Exactly.
Like you're saying, is like a lot of people on their deathbed, like, I regret not spending enough time.
Yes,
Correct.
that's regret.
You're
Okay.
just like,
maybe. I've
you
never
know.
thought about it like that
Okay, I do
before,
have
but-
regret. Can I say?
Yeah.
I was on tour and my grandmother passed away. It was like the early 90s and there was
Okay.
like really no cell phones
right.
and I missed her funeral,
Right.
you know, but could I have gone? But there was no other communication at that time to be there. But I even though I found out later because it was like 91 or some shit that I could have I wish I was there for my grandmother's funeral because she pretty much raised me when my mom was raising 3 boys on her own. My grandma
Right.
was everything to me. And I just wish I could have been in her funeral.
Right.
Because it would almost like I was burying my second mother, to be honest. I never really thought about it till now at this moment. But yeah, just I regret missing my grandmother's funeral probably. But if I had known about it, maybe, but how would I even made it back to Europe when I was 21 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it was a different time to communicate with people with cell phones and using club phones.
But that
and
wasn't
this
like
shit.
from your, that's
Yeah.
from your own actions.
Totally. I guess
it
so,
was-
yeah. I just wish that's the one thing I wish I never missed was my grandmother's funeral.
Okay.
I never even talked about that on my podcast. So
Damn.
thank you for that question.
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
regret, Derek?
Uh,
Shaving your dreads off?
no. That I regret not doing that earlier. There you go.
That's a good regret.
Because everyone was telling me, bruh, you gotta keep the dreads. It looks so cool.
Look like a predator.
Like live on stage, man. It's so sick. And the photos and
The
I'm like,
headband.
yeah, but this
Oh, boy.
is so much discomfort. I'm so sick of this. I'm like a grown man. I started this at like 15 years old growing dreads.
Yeah.
So it's just
Damn, I
like,
think
I bet that looked cool though.
I think I
oh,
triggered.
it was badass.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like going through I was like, man, I'm not even wearing it down because
I think I triggered Derek. I'm sorry, Derek.
No, it's okay.
No,
It's
this
all
is cool. I had dreads one time.
You did?
I was a white guy with dreads.
Me too. I had dreads in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture, bro.
I did. I don't even think there's any pictures of me with them because
I
I
got
didn't have them for very long. It was fucking awful.
Were they pretty? Were they Zach De La Rocha vibes?
Yeah, I
Or-
mean, yeah, but like less. Like my hair is curly, but it's like not the right kind of
you got
curly.
no photos.
I don't think so. I would totally. I literally, dude. It was like for maybe 4 months when I was like 20.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
or something like that, and I tried it. My
You
bandmates
respond.
kind of wanted me to do it. They're like, dude, you got long curly hair.
Going
Like,
to
you'd be
look cool,
perfect.
man. Bomba clap.
Yeah, and then I'm like, look, yeah, right. I look like, I look like my band is playing at like, my band is like first of 14 before 311 at like
Oh,
a
my God.
reggae
okay.
festival.
Yes.
Shout out
Yes,
311,
I-
by the way. Love those guys.
Show out to what?
Shout out to 311.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
So you had no regrets. You never no regrets then.
No, that I regret not doing that earlier.
Okay.
Like, and,
I regret not telling you I used to have dreads.
Oh God, I love.
I'm gonna
that.
send you a picture.
Please.
So real no regrets. Are you good?
I don't know. I'm sure there are a few, just like Frank Sinatra.
You have like a top 5 favorite artist or musician or inspiration?
It just depends.
drummer.
It depends on. I could sit here forever.
Sure.
Way more than 5. I think some of the like drummer wise,
Here we go.
Josh Freese,
Woo!
legend. Still
Legend.
haven't met that guy, or like actually met him one time at a studio like a long time
I
ago,
don't
but
think
I
I've met
haven't.
him either.
So
actually
nice,
talked to him.
nice human.
Okay. Who else?
Um,
Here we go.
Josh Freese, absolutely love Josh Freese.
Mhm.
Aaron Spears, rest in peace. John Bonham, get out of
Beast.
here. Clyde Stubblefield and Bernard Purdy, 2 of my favorites, and Dennis Chambers. So that's more than 5, but
Where's
those
Dennis
are my
Chambers
drummers.
from?
What P-Funk.
Oh,
Parliament Funk.
nice.
But obviously like Steely Dan, like I mean, just it made
Love it. Love it.
So
Great list.
yeah,
That's
that's
a great
those
list,
are,
actually.
those are my
Sick
drummers.
list.
Those are my drummers for the artists. I think I gotta give a shout out to my first band that like ever made me like really love and care about songs was the Eagles, because my dad's favorite band.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Love the
dude.
Eagles.
Nice. I
Classic.
wasn't expecting that. Okay.
Yeah,
We
but
got
dude,
some bangers.
so many. It's hard to even get Led Zeppelin. I mean, it's hard to.
Okay. That's good.
You a hip hop fan too?
Yeah, of course.
You got some favorite MCs?
I get a lot of shit for this probably, or maybe not. I don't know.
It's gonna be like Vanilla Ice or something.
no, Eminem though.
Come on,
Why are you getting shit for that?
bro.
Eminem.
It's one of the goats, dude.
Yeah.
Eminem.
These are your top 5.
Kendrick Lamar.
Fuck
Okay.
yes,
It's already a
absolutely.
good start
It's a
here.
great
This-
start.
Got 2 there.
Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. Let me think.
Stink.
Let me think. Think.
Any Tennessee rappers or no?
I don't know. Yo Gotti's a Tennessee rapper.
He is?
He's yeah.
I didn't know
Memphis.
that.
Memphis. But I'm not a huge Yo Gotti fan. No offense.
It's
Yo
okay.
Gotti.
So we got M, we got Kendrick.
We got Kendrick. Let's see. RZA.
Ooh, fire.
Fuck yes.
Pretty
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Incredible.
Let me think. Who else?
Take your time. We're good.
Yeah, I'm
Stink.
just trying to think because there's a lot of them that are like
Any West Coast?
butting
Can
up
like shift
heads.
back and forth.
Well, Kendrick's West Coast.
That's
as
right.
fuck.
Yeah, come
My
on.
bad.
man.
Okay,
Come
I
on.
fucked up. Sorry.
Come on,
I have to say, actually, I was a big fan of Snoop.
Hell yeah,
early
bro.
on. Yeah, it's a big fan
Classics,
of Snoop, man.
Classics, dude.
Can't
and
deny
then
that, I guess.
and then I
Yeah.
have to say, this is not so much in the rapping side of it, but more in the production side, just because I think he's so dope with Dr. Dre.
Of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
dude.
Like all my favorite guys are largely, I feel like, on the West Coast. That style
Interesting.
just
Okay.
always really like.
Right.
I mean, Chronic
spoke to me.
2001
Makes
is
sense,
incredible.
It just always spoke to me because it's so different than.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And by the way, like the bands too, like
From
from
great samples on the West Coast, like like the
the G whistle, like the oh yeah, they would use them.
G-Funk era.
They use so many.
Oh,
Like,
you talking about like actual sample? Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. I mean,
yeah.
just incredible producers.
Yeah.
I mean, the DOC, like
yeah,
you know,
That's so
these
good.
guys are just
The
on,
DOC, yeah.
on the
man.
next level
yeah.
shit, you know. And so,
How about New York hip hop? Wu-Tang.
I mean, Wu-Tang, obviously,
yeah.
like Biggie's like the number one for me.
yes.
That's just
Mhm.
like Biggie Smalls. It's hard to listen to one of those records and be like, this sucks. Turn that off. You know, everybody's like, no, it's always turn that shit up.
Dude,
Like,
the lyrics are insane too, man.
Biggie's.
Pretty heavy,
wild
man.
shit.
Yeah.
I remember that shit came out in New York, bro.
I'm like
I
a
do
West
too.
Coast.
I mean, we were. Yeah.
I'm a West Coast guy, but like generally speaking, I'm more into the West Coast sound. But always, I think if you had to put Tupac up with Biggie, it's remember that's always the thing.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
like Biggie or Tupac. Like I'm a bigger fan of Biggie, probably,
Wow.
which is departing from the nexus of.
That's okay
Yeah.
though.
you know,
Yeah.
a
That's
little
all
bit.
right. I'm not hating on that.
Tupac was from New York, right?
No, Tupac was from Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Are we sure about this?
I'm
No,
not sure
no,
about
Can
I'm
this.
not-
check, check. I thought he lived in New
No,
York,
he's a
then he
West
moved
Coast.
to Cali
Mm,
or Baltimore. I'm gonna get a fact check on this.
Yeah, I'm
Adam's
not
looking for
100%
us.
sure.
I'll take
Adam's
up the
looking
pod,
for
but I don't think Tupac was born in Cali.
Boom.
Oh.
East
Let's
Side.
Okay.
Damn.
Let's go.
Holy shit. All right. Well, you know.
He was born in New York, bro.
Okay.
Fact.
Okay.
Where were you born?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Massachusetts.
And you're from Cleveland.
Cleveland.
All right.
Did you, hey, Adam? Did you know he was born in Harlem?
I didn't.
I didn't know that.
How could I not know that?
Yeah,
Damn.
bro. I thought you knew that.
I know. Wow.
I didn't know that.
Who knew?
Any more questions for this wonderful young man?
None on the.
This has been amazing. I'm so happy we did this on a Saturday in the
know.
rain.
Yeah.
Adam pulled up.
Adam pulled up in the clutch, though.
Any new bands you listening to or anything like that, or are you checking out new artists? And
I'm really a big fan of the new Deftones album, and that's not
incredible.
A new
Bang.
big fan. By the
Bang.
way, we were just talking about Haley Williams.
And shout out to Chino. He'll be listening. He listens every Monday. I love you,
yeah.
Chino.
Dude, Chino is amazing.
Best.
Yeah, we played with them in Europe this summer on a festival. It was the coolest thing ever
I'm
to
sure.
see
Did
them.
you get to talk and meet them and talk to them?
No,
He's a sweetheart, dude.
no, man,
Yeah.
they're just like one of my favorite bands of all time.
And
Sick.
having this moment where I saw him
Just so sick.
3 nights
Abe,
at the Forum.
Abe Cunningham, by the way, I mentioned like my favorite drummers, and he's kind of
Oh,
like a
man.
sleeper hero that
Yeah.
hell
I always
yeah.
forget to mention. But
I agree, man.
I just
he's
love
phenomenal. man.
his playing so much.
Shout out to Abe, man.
He
Such a
never
sweet
got
guy,
mentioned
man.
on this podcast. So
Such
just
a
now, that's
sweet
dope.
guy.
Abe,
man.
dude, what a legend, dude.
a
That's just
legend.
great
kills it.
tone. Just
But dude,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Deftones new record is fantastic, man.
it's fantastic. And by the way,
Haley, we're talking about Haley, too.
yeah, Haley. Like I've both Tennessee people, but
Yes.
she's like, I don't know. I'm just a big fan. I've been a big fan of her since day one, pretty much. I think her new album is incredible, and she's just always got like such a cool energy.
For sure, man.
Just everywhere she goes, she's always got just a great songwriter. So I
True
really,
artist,
really
man.
admire her a lot, and I'm glad that her solo album's having such a big moment right now. It's really
Such a great album,
deserved.
too. Yeah, man. Shout out to Haley Williams. Shout out to
Definitely,
Chino,
definitely.
too.
Yeah.
We were just
for
rocking
sure.
the Deftones the other day.
Yep.
It's such a great record, man.
Great
Just seeing
record.
how they've always been a big band, but just past couple years, it's just like
Yeah. It's
even
got
bigger than
another
ever,
level.
man.
Yeah, and they their new album's produced by Nick Raskulinecz, which is another shout out.
I know that name from somewhere, man.
So he's from my hometown, he's from Knoxville,
But he's always just been a producer, that guy?
Yeah, producer.
Yeah,
Great
I've heard
producer.
that name throughout my whole life for sure, man.
I mean,
what is some stuff we might
well, he got started, he was like, the intern or whatever at Sound City, and he wound up getting the production, like being the main producer on One by One by Foo Fighters.
Oh shoot, damn.
And yeah, which won a Grammy.
Right.
Damn, yeah.
And then his career, of course, was just out there. So yeah, he's done Korn, real heavy rock guy, but really, really sick. Great producer, great guitar player.
Before we go, what's that producer I worked with? He produced all the Alkaline Trio records, all the Motorhead records. He did the new Steve Caballero band. I sang on it. Cameron Webb.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know about him.
He was just out doing sound with Trio when they were opening up for Blink a couple months ago.
Okay.
I ran into him there, dude. He's a great producer too, man.
Cool.
Yeah. He's got a lot of crazy history.
Cameron Webb.
We do.
Another one.
So thanks for being here, man. This has been
Thanks
awesome
for having
having
me,
my
man.
kitchen. I'm happy we met. We did a song together. We became friends. Came to see you play the Forum. It was incredible, dude.
Thanks for
that. Was
great.
That was
Met Derek down there.
Yeah, that was sick,
so
man.
sick.
He was my surprise.
I wish I could have been in
guest
Brazil when you were there, man.
Oh, it was crazy.
Like a good time.
Well,
and especially since you had the hub.
I know, but it's all right. We'll be back. We'll be back in LA too. You live in LA, I guess, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So really great meeting you and becoming friends and all that stuff. And thanks for being the podcast and coming in between your tour and on the Saturday afternoon. It was nice to have you here, man.
Yeah.
Learned a lot of things
guys.
today, man. Appreciate you and everything you put out into the world. And I'm excited to see what happens next with Linkin Park and new music, right?
Yeah.
Could be new music. Adam can't tell us, but yeah. Thanks for being there too, Adam. Adam's been super chill and hanging. But yeah, thanks to all the listeners. Anything else, Derek?
No, that's it.
Let me check my list. Yeah, all good. Awesome.
All right, man.
All right, Colin. Thanks you, bro.
Guys.
Okay, people hit you up on Instagram. You check your DMs.
Of course, yeah.
So you check messages, respond to people?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
You probably get a lot of DMs, dude.
Yeah.
Not as many as you think.
Okay. And do you respond to comments too and stuff? And do you interact with people?
Of course,
Okay.
yeah, man. I try to get back to people, and we're just, I'm just grateful to be here. So,
Dude, super
awesome.
stoked for you, man.
all right.
All right, bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go to liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use Toby H2O and get $100 off your first session one of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removry has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is an over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies. You can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth.